This is a Taming Rex. This guy right here is a Harambe wearing a top hat. And this is a super powered Dodo Rex. In this video, I have 100 days to beat this crazy mod so that we can defeat the final boss, the War Chief. Can we complete this challenge? Or will we be labeled the biggest loser in ARK? Welcome to my 100 days in ARK Annunaki Ascended. Also, a lot of this was recorded live on Twitch, so if you want to come and join us over there and see this all happen live, hit the link below. Welcome homies and homettes to another ARK modded adventure. We are playing on one of my most favorite maps, the Center. And since this is modded, some of the creatures that we recognize are a little bit different. What is this? Oh, you're a fancy ass dog. Ah! Yeah, some of them are quite strong as well. We then encountered an overgrown golden dodo. And you know what we love to do to dodos? Oh. You definitely know that you're playing modded ARK when you die so quickly in a matter of seconds. But it's probably time we start getting a little bit serious. So I picked some berries for some berries and fiber, picked some stones up along the ground, and punched some trees with my bare fist so I can gather some wood. I then craft a whole bunch of my own chibis. Yes, I have my own chibi mod in the mod store, so go check it out. But also, this is a cheap and easy way to get some easy first levels. We also have to remember that there's annoying little pests in this game as well. And it is modded. That's why we died. Definitely not because they were vanilla dinos and, we're just stupid. But hey, after all, this is ARK. And if dinosaurs are bigger than you, they probably want to eat you for dinner. Yep. We are DED dead. What's up, brothers? We are dead, brother. Oh, how am I still alive? You are weak, boy. I had a dodo kill me faster than you. Don't you love just spawning right in next to something extremely dangerous? Okay, we have barely started and done anything in this game so far. Hopefully at least this run we can gather some tools and, get started. I gather enough resources so I can craft this stone multi-tool. It's a part of this other mod that I'm using, where you just have to craft one tool and you can turn it into multiple different variations of other tools. Like this pickaxe, we could turn into a hatchet or a club or whatever this is. What the frick is that? That's supposed to be a sickle? What is this? Oh, it is. Anyways, we continued on by making a reusable spear that's also a part of this mod. So I shoved this spear right up this turtle's butt. Psych, I didn't do that. I ain't that stupid this early in the game. Instead, I killed this dilo. I need its precious skin. It doesn't need its life. Its sacrifice was worthwhile. Now we have a raft. The center is a rather large map surrounded by lots of water, so I figured a raft might be a good way for us to get around at the start at least. At least this way we'll be able to enjoy a lot of the scenery and be able to avoid some of the dangerous things along the beach. We made our way all the way over to Skull Island. It used to be called Batman Island, but they turned it into this monstrosity. It is kind of cooler, but I don't know. I miss Batman Island. Day 2, we landed this boat upon this shore, just so I can gather a bunch of resources that I could use to start building upon this boat, placing in all the foundations and then a few walls and then eventually this bed. I couldn't forget to add this ramp so I could make it back up to this boat whenever I need. I then added this storage box, then went back to harvesting yet more resources before fully enclosing this space in. There we have it. We have a little houseboat. It's not fully made out of stone currently, but we'll get there eventually. And because we've been working with stone tools this whole time, this basically took up the entire day 2. Day 3, I made a forge, but we're gonna need to fill it with some metal. So I ran my naked butt straight into the forest because I figured there might be like some metal nodes in here. Maybe. I didn't manage to find any metal nodes, but I did manage to see an ominous red glowing smoke thingy. Oh, f***. Ah! GG's, motherfuckers. Yeah. If you see red, ominous, glowing smoke thingies, just avoid them. Because we're playing modded and dinosaurs are scary and strong, we're gonna have to get metal the good old-fashioned grindy way. By hitting stone and trying to gather as much as we can, which is usually not very much, but, we try. We did manage to gather enough so we could make a smithy. At least that's a start. And I could make a metal pickaxe, which should help speed up the process of gathering some raw metal. Next, I made and placed down this mortar and pestle in hopes that we could start making some narcotics so that we could eventually start taming some dinosaurs. Right now, I think we're gonna need ourselves a game plan. Firstly, we're gonna have to try and find ourselves a dinosaur that can fly. Secondly, we're gonna have to find ourselves a permanent base location. Skull Island would be pretty cool, but I soon find out that there's actually nowhere to really land and build here. And thirdly, we need to level up. A lot of the content in this mod requires you to be a much higher level than we currently are. We interrupt this broadcast to inform you that the whole world has been overrun by strange monsters and we need your help. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah! Listen, I need you to download this free-to-play game now so you can help me destroy some of these threats. Like this siren walker thingy. Shh. See this guy here? This is a treant. We don't want to be seen by him just yet.
Listen, one of the cool things that you can do in this game is you can build your own base like this. Customize your own weapons to suit your own style. And don't worry, when you land in this world, you will be given a couple special abilities to help you get through. Like this crow here is going to help you fly. Now look, some of these deviations and creatures aren't all dangerous. If you manage to capture and tame some of them, they will help you survive this post-apocalyptic wasteland. I have been playing hours of this game in pre-release, but the game's now released for everyone. So use my link in the description below to download this free-to-play game now. And use the special code that I put down below, and you can get some special in-game rewards. So go ahead, go do it. Ooh, my bad, dude. I thought you were a deviant. Nope, you're not. You're just ugly. Thank you, Once Human, for sponsoring this video.
Day 4, I crafted these javelins, which basically work like narcotic spears, and one of these reusable bowlers, all with the intention to start taming some creatures. Sometimes a dodo is a good start in this game, but I also forgot that this is Annunaki, and yes, this big golden dodo didn't like the fact that I hit its little brother. Oh my god, you damage structures too! Holy shit! Wait, how's it inside? Oh, my base is dead. I hate this glitch. Fuck! Get out of my house. And just like that, because we messed with the wrong dodo, our base is semi-destroyed. And we have an extremely dangerous golden dodo just chilling on the back of our boat. I don't know how that happened, but now it's gone. After all this little bit of chaos, I still haven't tamed anything. I think this parasol might make a good starter addition to our family. Psych, I need some hide. I then spend the rest of this day just stocking up on a bunch of resources, specifically trying to hit some of these river rocks so we can get some more metal. Day 5, and I remembered back in ASE, there's a little spot that we could get to on our boat to be able to collect some metal. It's just down the end of this cove on this island, and because we're on our boat, we can literally just go straight up to it, and now I can stock up on some metal. Oh, I should be using a metal pickaxe. That was a bad idea. So of course, my next step was to craft up this metal pickaxe. At least this time I could harvest up a decent amount of metal. I'm gonna need a bunch more metal than we can collect down here, but then I also remembered on parts of this island there are a bunch of metal nodes, except some of them just weren't in the places that I remembered. Oh, I'm so glad we finally found some metal. Game changer Rooney. We managed to gather quite a bit, enough to get us started at least. It's now day 6 and I drive my boat straight into a cave. I enter this cave for a particular reason. I was told by my Twitch chat that this is a good place to gather some resources, specifically chitin. If I can manage to kill some bugs down here, I can collect a bunch of chitin that I'll be able to use to be able to make a Pteranodon saddle. We made it quite deep into this cave without attracting any enemies, and then we found this resource. Crystal. Indeed, we did find ourselves quite a lot of crystal. There were some metal nodes nearby as well. And since we brought our portable base with us, we were able to just dump all of our goodies right here. And then went back into the cave so I could kill some critters. Unfortunately, we were first found by a titan boa. We were able to dispatch this snake, but it doesn't have what we need. Instead, we spotted a dung beetle. And I didn't know that they were aggressive until now. Are you really trying to fight me right now? What do you got, you little bitch? I just need your carcass real quick. Can I borrow it? I'll give it back. Trust me. Well, I'll put it on the back of a Pteranodon. Wow. Little punk is strong. Are you running? We only managed to harvest 41 chitin off of this guy, and it's not quite enough. So we have to keep going. I managed to get the attention of a few, but as I tried to get a better position for myself, this happened. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Damn it. It's been fun. It's been fun. No, you can't get my meat. So yeah, the spiders did get my meat. We returned back to go and kill these spiders, and out of nowhere, we were joined by someone. Oh shit, you fucking... Oh my god, who is that? Yes, he scared the living daylights out of me. This is Atlas. If you remember the last Omega 100 days that I played, he was a part of that as well. I do in fact record these 100 days on my Patreon servers. That's open to any one of my YouTube members, Patreons, or Twitch subscribers. And with that, we were able to harvest up enough chitin to be able to make a Pteranodon saddle. When we can tame a Pteranodon, that is. But I wasn't quite finished here in the cave. I made myself some essential tools, like this spyglass and this reusable grapple hook. Thanks to my time in Monarchy and hanging out with Raz Clark, I learned a few tricks to be able to maneuver these caves safely. With a reusable grapple hook and a parachute, you can basically Spider-Man your way through this entire cave and avoid all the dangerous creatures. Now, why was I trying to go so deep into this cave? For that thing over there. I wanted to see if I can get my hands on some juicy loot. It wasn't really safe for me to land on the ground, so I'm trying to kill a lot of these critters while I'm hanging on the roof. This proved to be kind of difficult, and the loot drop wasn't really worth it, so we just left. After all, we got everything that we need to progress, so it's time to leave the cave completely. I saw that someone had built a little starter shack, so I wanted to go investigate. Turns out this is Atlas's home base, which makes sense on why he made it to us so quickly. Anyways, on this island was a level 135 Pteranodon. So I bowled it and then shot it in the face. And now we just wait until this Pteranodon is fully tamed. Whilst we wait for this Pteranodon to fully tame up, I crafted this Annunaki workbench. Took us a while to be able to make this. It's kind of expensive, but this bench is essential for us to progress through this mod, as it is used to craft a bunch of the modded items. It seems kind of empty now, but that's because we haven't unlocked a bunch of things. Like I said earlier, in this mod, you have to be a much higher level before you can do a lot of the modded content. Anyways, as night fell, our Pteranodon finally tamed up. Pteranodon! I don't name name creatures typically at the start, mainly because they die quick. Yes, this is true. I cannot be trusted with dinosaurs in the early game. But because we were well prepared, we already have a Pteranodon saddle, meaning we can hit the skies straight away. And anybody that's been playing Ark long enough knows that if you hit the skies, your game changes completely, as this opens up a whole new way of exploring the map. Day 7 and I'm scouting out different locations for our forever base. I was somewhat kind of still hopeful that I could build on Skull Island, but it doesn't really look like there's anywhere decent to build here. I mean, I'm sure that there's some creative builders that will build here, but I'm just not that creative. I came back to visit one of the places that I built in Monarchy Season 4.5. I didn't want to repeat something that I've already done. I then had the idea to maybe move into these big ruins right here, but I decided against that. So I guess we just got to continue our journey forward. The only thing is, sometimes you need to remember, in modded Ark, some creatures are significantly more dangerous. Oh no! What the frick? Get away! Get away! You see, and this is why I do not name my dinos this early in the game. Now, I had collected some valuable resources along that little trip there, so I had to place down this personal grave, which is part of the death recovery mod, to be able to get all of my stuff back. Next, I made a tribe, and I called it Dodo Gang. You know, just like some of the hottest merch in the Ark community, made from some of the best quality material that you can buy on the internet currently, and with just one click in the description below, you can purchase one for yourself. Anyways, I was kind of frustrated that we lost a Pteranodon, and I knew I couldn't tame one of these badass poison Pteranodons, so it had to die. Did this soothe my frustration? No, but it's still kind of fun to do. I want to tame myself another Pteranodon. I want to hit the skies again as soon as possible. But once again, we don't have enough chitin to be able to make a saddle for it. So hopefully with a quick visit to this cave, we can sort that situation out. We managed to kill one of these Arthropluras, but we just need to go harvest its body real quick. We didn't even get to collect it. A Zomdodo. Turns out we were killed by a Zomdodo. Yes, that is a thing in this mod. Fortunately, we didn't have to go get our stuff back, and we already had enough stuff to be able to make a Pteranodon saddle. So we could leave and go find ourselves a Pteranodon worth taming. 135, that'll do. This level 135 will do nicely. Day 8, I encountered some baby dinos. They seem to be living their best life, unaware that there are predators in this world. It's a little messed up, but I'm trying to turn these kids into orphans. You know, give them some main character energy like Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker, or even people of a certain racial demographic. No, but really, I need to kill the kids. Yes, sounds kind of messed up, but I need them for their prime meat. They're sacrifices so that I could tame things a little bit quicker than normal, like the Pteranodon. Problem is, the parents didn't like that, and we weren't successful turning them into orphans. In the end, we managed to get some prime meat off this dead alpha Dilo. I think it was killed by that golden turkey. So I quickly fed the prime meat to the Pteranodon, and just like that, it was fully tamed up. Now we're back in the skies for a second time. Hopefully this lasts a little bit longer than the last one. We should really consider starting our forever base now. This map is massive, but I do like this area. I kind of like the look of this island, and it seems pretty safe considering. It doesn't seem like anything dangerous or modded spawns here, so it's probably a good place to set up our forever base. We placed down some basic foundations in this storage box so we can start storing some of our initial resources. I then move our boathouse over to the new island and continue laying down the foundations to our new base. My Twitch chat instructed me to name my Pteranodon. I named this Waffle 2. The previous one was called Waffle. Obviously, this is Waffle 2 in honor of Waffle 1. Day 9, and I was lucky enough to have the mod developer in my Twitch stream. He mentioned if I go and kill some of these modded creatures, they have a chance of dropping some experience potions, which we can then use to level up our dinos or character. They also drop these badass tokens as well, which are important for taming some of the modded creatures in this mod. I really needed to level up so I can actually start playing this mod properly. We got ourselves to level 69 by crafting some chibis, but really we need to try to get ourselves to level 82 before we can start taming any of these modded creatures. You see, this modded creature requires badass poison treats to be able to tame it. Unfortunately, you can only craft that in a thing called the Annunaki lab bench, which you don't unlock until level 82. Side note, that has changed and it's now a much lower level, but whilst I was playing this, it was level 82. Anyways, we continued trying to kill as many of these modded creatures as possible until we could get ourselves an experience potion. But we came close to dying, so I figured we'd head back to base and I'd make myself some flak armor to protect us in these wilds before heading on out murdering any of these helpless creatures. In the redwoods, we killed this frost Pteranodon and then we got it. Is that experience potion? I immediately drank this experience potion and I thought it was going to give us experience points. It works like an explorer note. I still need to earn the experience points, but it just happens at a multiplied rate. Day 10, we continue exploring on Waffles 2. I came across this beaver dam, and in most early game Ark experiences, we know that cementing paste can be kind of difficult to come across. So I took this opportunity to steal some cementing paste. Yoink. Oh. It's always such an exhilarating experience. I'm so scared of freaking beavers at times. We made it back to base to drop off some of the loot that we had scored out in the wild. And in a desperate measure to be able to try and get some more levels, I crafted up a whole bunch of cooking pots whilst drinking another experience potion. I got word that a couple people on the server were fighting a powerful creature. And killing a powerful creature usually means us getting some juicy experience points. This is a prime alpha dodo, which is like an alpha dodo, just prime. No, but really they're just extremely stronger than the alpha variants. Like I thought I was helping, but I really wasn't. I was doing minimal amount of damage compared to whoever the hell was doing 1500 points of damage. And to top it off, once we killed it, I didn't even get any experience points from it. You know, I really do love this game most of the time, but there are times that stupid little things like this happen that can really ruin your day. Whoa. Yes, my game is completely frozen. This isn't just some weird thing that in the edit. You can hear the stuff going on, but I'm not there. I'm dead. I'm 100% dead. Wow, what even just happened then? And just like that, Waffle 2 is now dead. Day 11 starts with us placing down some crafting benches in our new forever base. We had also now made a metal multi-tool, making gathering a bunch of resources significantly easier, and we do get a whole lot more. But we are really progression stuck. Until we hit level 82, we can't really do much. So I drank an experience potion and just started crafting a whole bunch of chibis. I think this is the cheapest and best way to do it for us for now. And at the same time, I continue working on this base. I'm obviously not building this kind of like I usually do in my other 100 days, but we'll get there eventually. My priority right now is to be able to get to a high enough level so we can actually start doing things in this mod. We finally hit level 82 and we unlocked the Annunaki lab bench. Problem is, this thing's really expensive to craft. So once again, we head back to one of my favorite caves so I can gather some more chitin to craft another pteranodon saddle. This method that I'm doing right now to gather this chitin is called the kamikaze method. I dive in to harvest this arthropleura, knowing very well that I was gonna die. That's okay though, because we can just get our stuff back, including the chitin that we just freshly harvested. Day 12 and it's time to get out of this cave and find ourselves another pteranodon. Stopped over on this island real quick to go visit Atlas. He gave me one of these balls. It's a modded version of a cryopod. This way, once we tame this next level 130 pteranodon, we can keep it safely in our pocket. My taming rates in this playthrough is a little bit slower than normal, so there was a lot of just standing around and waiting for things to tame. This pteranodon eventually fully tamed up. Again, we named it Waffle 3. To make this Annunaki lab bench, I'm gonna need a bunch of silica pearls, cementing paste, polymer, all the kind of late game resources. So I was searching through these river systems to see if I can pick up some silica pearls and maybe some oil as well. I went and visited some places that were hotspots for resources in ASE, but it seems in ASA some of these places have changed. Damn, there's usually oil in one of these spots, but it's not here. One place that remained the same though was the swamp, although it was a little bit harder to maneuver than I remembered. You see, there's a little cheesy method of gathering cementing paste in the swamp here. Now, because we can get our boat all the way through here, all we need to do is just run over the top of one of these beaver dams, and we can still access the beaver dam to be able to get cementing paste out of it without letting any beavers come and get us and kill us, or pretty much anything else in these dangerous swamps. With our new pocketed pteranodon, I took off to go and gather a resource that I know I could get safely. I just had to fly all the way over to the green obelisk to this little iceberg here, and it's right here that we can gather a whole bunch of oil. There's also a little bit of crystal, and we can kill these helpless penguins for some organic polymer. We managed to make it back to base with a whole bunch of resources, and we made this D+ fabricator. It's just a little bit smaller than the normal one, but we didn't get nearly enough resources to be able to craft this Annunaki lab bench. We've still got quite the grind ahead of us. Next, I made my way over to these ruins. Remember those big ones that we scouted out for a possible base location earlier? Well, this is where Atlas decided to build alongside his new tribe mate, Milkshake. I made a new alliance here as well and named it Game Over Gang. Again, like some of the hottest merch in the game. Link in the description below. Next, I needed to get myself some silica pearls so I could make some electronics for this Annunaki lab bench. Problem is, I didn't really know where to get some, but apparently Milkshake had a good location to be able to gather them easy at this kind of level.
I'll be there in a sec.
I'm just gonna fly up. Oh yeah, I see you.
Yeah, that should be it.
And what, like right in there is?
Yeah, you just walk through. There will be a few downers, but there shouldn't be any at the start.
Yes, right inside this cave is a whole bunch of silica pearls just lying along the ground here. All right for the picking. Sometimes you might encounter some creatures, but we kind of got lucky this time. And I only had to beat up a helpless dung beetle. And just like that, we secured a whole bunch of silica pearls and could continue on our journey to be able to craft this Annunaki lab bench. The rest of this day really just consists of us just trying to gather as many resources as possible. I'd eventually like to craft this Annunaki forge as well. But just like the Annunaki lab bench, this is super expensive. Even with boosted rates, this is going to take us a while. Day 15, we found our way back to the silica pearl cave. This time I brought a whip because with the help of a whip, we can gather a bunch more silica pearls. And yes, we gathered a whole lot more than we would have if we just gathered them by hand. But just in good old ARK fashion, as soon as I left this cave, I saw this fire Tyrannosaurus eating my pteranodon. Is it J Whistle? Yes, J Whistle. No! Now I'm caught on one of the most dangerous islands in this map, trying to run for my life. Wasn't sure really what to do right now. And this wasn't the smartest idea, but I was curious to see how strong these javelins really are. I mean, if I had enough of them, I possibly could have knocked out this Rex. I wonder if I can just... What can I do if I kill it? Can I get it? Can I get it? Let's just see if I just poke you in the ankles. Yeah, stuff it. Let's just die. Yet again, we lost another Pteranodon. But I could easily do a task right now that doesn't actually require us to have a Pteranodon. I mean, we need a crazy amount of cementing paste anyway, so we might as well go and fetch some on our boat. By now, I had also added the creature finder mod, and I figured an easy way to find some beaver dams is to look for some beavers in the swamp. Because if you can find beavers, you find beaver dams. It's really that simple. Except for when you're leaving the swamp area and you notice that there's a name written inside your base somehow, and there's a frog that somehow just made its way inside your base. It doesn't have a massive health pool, so it needs to die. Stupid hitchhiking frog, you are not welcome here. We have been grinding away at this mod for quite a while now, and we don't have any real decent tames. I found this level 45 Pteranodon, and it'll do for now at least. But there was also this level 145 trike nearby, and I mean, we might as well try and tame this as well. It'll be a good berry gatherer anyway. I brutally put this girl to sleep and realized there was a baby nearby. I felt guilty for like 2 seconds, and then I remembered my lunch was ready, so I kind of forgot all about it. Day 17, and our Pteranodon is fully tamed up. So I put a saddle straight on it and then went into the skies. We're still waiting for this Triceratops to tame up, so whilst we wait for it, we went to go get some resources. First, we gathered a little bit of crystal. Then we came over to these ponds here to see if we can find some beaver dams with some cementing paste in them. After a little bit of time, the Triceratops is fully tamed up. We then jump back in our houseboat and then return back to base. I then checked the Annunaki workbench to see our progress on being able to make this Annunaki lab bench. We still have a little ways to go, but we're getting closer to being able to make this. One of the more difficult resources to get to be able to make the lab bench is black pearls. Now, a good way to be able to get black pearls in this mod is to kill alpha creatures. Problem is, they're kind of tough to kill with just vanilla dinos. So I made this imbue station that you can use to upgrade to weapons and armor. I made a crossbow since arrows are pretty cheap to make, and then upgraded it as much as possible. With the resources that we had, a 400% crossbow was the best we were going to get. So I flew around until we could find an alpha creature that I figured was weak enough for us to actually have a chance of killing. I saw this alpha dodo on the beach here and figured it didn't seem very strong, but then I made a grave mistake. When I shot this golden dodo, my PT wanted to join in on the fun. Oh no, the PT. And it died. Yeah. A horrible death. Now we're stuck over here getting chased by a bunch of murderous dodos. I'm trying my best to be able to kill this dodo. 1, so I can get black pearls, and 2, so I don't die myself. I managed to kill it, but it seems like other dinos want to harvest my kill. I harvested its body and I only got 32 black pearls. I escaped from the little dangers that we just had there and ran back to my Pteranodon's bag. I really wanted that saddle back. Day 18, and we're still trying to kill some creatures with this new crossbow of ours. We managed to take down this alpha dialer with some precision headshots and got a little bit more black pearls. Feeling a little bit confident, I found this prime alpha dialer that already had some damage to it. So I trapped it with my bowler and then started shooting it in the head. Ooh, I don't think we're gonna have enough time to kill this. 17 seconds, no? Or no, we're doing 1,000 per and nah. My maths isn't mathing, but I don't think this is going to work. Indeed, I was correct. This did not work. I had to make my escape before it escaped and absolutely murdered me. Further along the beach, we came across this level 25 Pteranodon. I know it's a low level, but I just need something that can fly for now. I didn't have any trank arrows, but I had a club. It was effective. Once tamed, I put a saddle on the back of it, jumped on it, and started flying into the skies. But there was one problem. Because this stupid thing is such a low level, we were overweight. I force-fed it a bunch of food to try and lessen the weight. When that didn't work, I just dropped half of it. Then the next problem arose. We ran out of stamina along the beach and started getting attacked by some pegamastics and some compies. With this, my PT couldn't regain any stamina. So in a last-ditch effort to keep it alive, I jumped off it and then put it in one of my soul balls. I then began running down the beach towards my base and somehow died to a prime alpha dialer. Well, on the bright side, this gave us an easy access back to our base, I guess. It's moments like these that this personal grave feels kind of cheaty, but hey, it is what it is. But hey, if you don't like it, go and uppercut yourself. Next, I wanted to make some more tranks and narcotics, but spoiling meat takes so damn long. That's okay though, because we added the meat spoiler mod, so we can spoil meat rather quickly. And now that we have this trike, we can farm our entire island quite easily. There's so many bushes and no dangers, so we can do this at a leisurely pace. Our focus right now is to be able to get ourselves a better Pteranodon. This Pteranodon really sucks. I fed it an experience potion. That's why it's spewing glitter out of its butt. The stupid low level ran out of stamina again. We managed to spot a level 140 Pteranodon. I needed to get off of the back of this stupid low level one. But I almost made the mistake of killing this one because my crossbow is kind of powerful. I fed it some prime meat. Now we just gotta wait and pray it doesn't die. Whilst waiting for this Pteranodon to tame up, we found a level 90. Figured I'd try and tame that as well. It can't hurt to have some spares laying around the place anyway. This level 140 we have now acquired. Placed the saddle right on its back and started flying off into the sunset. I went ahead and named this one Waffle 5. I don't really know what number we're actually up to, but I kind of figured we're up to this. The other Pteranodon was fully tamed up as well, so I went back over to that and put it in a soul skull ball. I'm gonna need somewhere to keep these guys safe, so I placed down this SCS terminal and placed my spare Pteranodon straight inside there. Next, I worked on making another part of my base. This section of our base is gonna be for our farm. We need all the vegetables so we can make some of the treats in order to tame some of the modded creatures. And since we're almost there, we might as well get started now. Now that we have a farm, we need some fertilizer. We can get poop going in this SCS terminal, but we really need fertilizer, which means we're gonna need a dung beetle. And I remember from earlier in this video, we could get dung beetles from this cave that we love so much. We entered into this cave and there was a dung beetle waiting right at the shores for us. There was also some spiders too, so we had to try and get away from them and murder them because they're in our way of success. Yeah, it didn't really go to plan. Before returning to go get that dung beetle, I made sure to be wearing some armor this time. I mean, it is more fun to kidnap things naked, but hey, we need some protection sometimes, right? I returned and I remained cautious, but it seemed like the spiders were not around. So I was able to tame this dung beetle with no obstacles in sight. I was able to leave this cave in peace as well. Return straight back to base and place this dung beetle straight into this SCS terminal so it could immediately start turning all of this poop into some healthy fertilizer. Obviously, I also need a water source for these plants to be able to grow. And we're right next to the water, so it's not really a problem. Since we're getting really close to be able to tame some modded creatures, I went ahead and made myself this long neck rifle. I then went ahead and started upgrading it in the imbu bench and began crafting some of these Annunaki tranquilizer darts. They're like normal tranquilizer darts, just way stronger. Before we start taming any modded creatures, I figured I'd tame something a little bit stronger so we can kind of ease this progression along. I figured a level 150 Rex would really help us out right now. This would also be a good way to test out the potency of these new tranquilizer darts as well. This particular Rex wasn't alone. I tried to find a good vantage spot so I could take it out, but it gets really hard to see sometimes with all this foliage. Good thing we could just whip it all away. Then we could start our attack trying to knock out this 150 Rex. I really should have built a trap for these guys. The fact that they run away and run around so much is kind of making this a little bit more difficult than I expected. Just so I could tame this level 150 Rex, I'm out here trying to be Spider-Man, and I kind of discovered using the crossbow was a bit easier to knock this guy out. We got one of these Rexes down. Now we need to try and get our hands on the other one. This one right here, the level 50. Couple arrows shot straight into its butt and we put it straight to sleep. And no, I wasn't going to tame it. If I remember correctly, I should be able to slaughter this thing and get prime meat off of it. I was right. We managed to get a little bit of prime meat. Looking back, this is kind of messed up. I fed this Rex its friend just so it could be my friend. Now we just have to wait for this Rex to tame up completely with nothing to do but just run around this lava pit for a while. Also, I learned that I could harvest this big bone here and you get raw salt from it. Never knew that. And just like that, our Rex was completely tamed. I then went to go head over to this female Rex, but then I saw a purple drop, got distracted, and didn't do that. We got a pretty decent flak helmet from this drop, but other than that, it wasn't that good. I completely forgot about that female Rex as well. It would have made a good mating pair for our male Rex. Instead, I crafted up a saddle, went over to the beach with my new Rex, and started murdering everything along this beach. Problem is, an automatic dino wipe happened at the same time. So whilst we were searching this beach for some innocent prey, we actually didn't find any. That nothing spawned in yet. The main idea behind taming this Rex was for us to be able to go out and kill some alpha creatures so we can easily harvest black pearls, which is the hardest resource for us to be able to get right now, so that we can make this Annunaki lab bench. I was in a Discord call with Atlas, and he mentioned that maybe going down into the ocean to get some black pearls might be the way to do it. All we need to do is go find a bunch of these eutripids, kill them, and harvest some black pearls from them. I made up some scuba gear, and Atlas mentioned that he wanted to come to the ocean as well, but he wanted to tame a Mosasaurus, so maybe we could take on a Tuso or something. I then made this awesome teleporter so that Atlas or any of my allies could teleport here at any time. He didn't use it, he just flew over here instead. We then flew over to this little island thing that was as close as possible to this Mosa, then dove into the ocean. If we can tame this without having any current tames or anything and just, you know, scuba diving, we're either geniuses or complete idiots. Then we ran into our first problem. The creature finder sometimes shows you creatures that are stuck in the mesh, so this particular Mosa isn't accessible for us right now. We gave up trying to get at this one, then looked on the map to see if we can find another decent level one. There was another one that wasn't too far away from us, really close to Skull Island. It's not a great level, but you know, it might work. We arrived at this other Mosasaurus that was swimming freely in the middle of the ocean. Once I arrived, it was already chasing Atlas.
Oh, it wants me now.
Yes, it did look quite hungry for some Atlas. There was a weird mechanic that happened. The Mosasaurus just decided to run away eventually. It's so weird that it's not staying aggroed. It knows what's about to happen. And to make things even more annoying, a freaking Plessy decided to join the party. Dude, you weren't invited to the party. Go away. One more hit and it's down. One more hit, it's down. Holy crap, what is that? Oh my god. All right, sir. Try and not kill me. Oh crap. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Okay, thank you for your time. After that little distraction, the Mosasaurus came back and we started pelting it with some of our arrows. It began to rush in to kill me and I kind of survived it, which I'm glad about. Shot it with some more trank arrows, but then it started to escape. I'm just not fast enough to keep up right now, and it did break my flippers. It just got way too far away from us and its torpor is dropping rapidly. I had run out of stamina as well, so it was time to call it here and head back to base. I repaired my scuba gear and then went back into the ocean. Started swimming towards this Mosasaurus, but then I got attacked by this Megalodon. I only had trank arrows on me, so I put it to sleep. I had some prime meat on me as as well, so I figured maybe I'd just try and tame it. Having an underwater tame might actually be helpful in this situation. We tamed it right next to our base anyway, so, you know, might as well. I had to call this guy Bruce. It just made sense. Bruce made traveling through the ocean so much easier. We didn't have to worry about our stamina at all, and he was a lot faster. When I finally caught up to this Mosa, I went to approach it so I could start tranking it. I was hoping Atlas was here.
I got killed by that friggin' electric eel.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't here. And we're getting chased by a prime alpha plessy. With 340,000 health points, yeah, it would absolutely destroy us. I ended up giving up on this task to tame ourselves a Mosasaurus and just started hunting down these Eutripids with myself and Brucey here. The problem is they did not drop a lot of black pearls. Even if I used the pickaxe, it was barely any. But this did seem easier and a little bit safer than fighting alphas. It might be a little bit more grindy, but hey, this might be the way for us to be able to get enough black pearls to make the lab bench. Day 22 and we're still on this Eutripid grind. Also, I know I'm saying it wrong, so don't come at me in the comments. This gets extremely boring after a while, and it's depressing when you don't get that many black pearls. There is another way that we could get a lot of black pearls quickly. That's from killing a big ass squid. Saw that there was a level 20 on the map and went after it. Unfortunately, this one was glitched into the walls as well. But I do have to give it to the developers of the center. This underwater glowing cave area is pretty damn cool. What did I just see? You, sir, just found an Alpha Tuso. The Alpha Tuso found me. Oh, no, it found us. 42k health. That's not fair. This one's going to be tough to beat, but if we do beat it, it will definitely be worth it. And when I say we, I mean Atlas. Atlas is coming as well. He tamed himself a Megalodon, but he just needed a scuba tank. So I gave him my spare one. Then we went into the fight. Yeah, I know this was stupid, but I just went to charge straight in. I was stuck in its tentacles and just biting away. We were actually doing surprisingly a fair bit of damage. Yeah, until it kills us at least. My Meg died.
Did it?
Yeah, it's dead.
I mean, mine's gonna die.
Poor Brucey is dead. He won't need the saddle anymore. The Tuso seemed to be aggroed on Atlas and its really fast Megalodon. Whoa, you're so fast. I shot this Tuso and then it started charging towards me. I felt like this was my time and it was over. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm so dead. The underwater ARK gods have blessed me today. This Tuso couldn't seem to get its grippers on me at all. Wait, bro, we might win this, bro. And yes, it seemed like we might indeed win this. Bro, we're killing it.
I'm biting. I'm gnashing.
We might actually kill it. It's 10k health. Bro, it's got 4k. It's got 4k. We're gonna kill it, dude.
I can't see it.
4,000 health points left. It's running away and squirting all over our faces. Wait, you're almost good. 900, 700, 200. Dead, it's dead, it's dead.
That's right, bitch.
And just like that, we defeated this Alpha Tuso. Yes, yes, yes. That might give us the right amount of pearls. I then went to go harvest its body, expecting me to be able to harvest the pearls from it. And there must be a bag around. No. I think I lost the bag that it might have dropped. No, where's my pearls, you bum?
Oh, wait, there's a bag right above me, Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah, Alpha Tuso right here.
Atlas found the bag, and we managed to get 75 pearls. It really wasn't worth it. But then again, it kind of was, because I teleported straight back home, placed the pearls into the Annunaki workbench, and then checked to see what else we needed. We only needed some more metal ingots, and we had ourselves an Annunaki lab bench. Side note, we already had the ingots ready and cooked. Just like that, we finally had ourselves the Annunaki lab bench. With that, I thought we were ready to start taming some modded creatures. Once I saw what it took to be able to craft these treats to be able to tame them, I didn't have some of the ingredients to be able to make it yet. Not only was there some of the crops that I haven't even planted yet, and I need all of them, I also need some alpha blood and some golden kibble that drops from golden dodos and golden turkeys. We had all the required seeds and a little bit of fertilizer for these crops, so I planted everything that I had to start this growing. Then to speed things up, I wanted to build a greenhouse, but all the pieces require cementing paste and crystal. We flew to a close location so we could harvest up some crystal, just enough to make sure that we could keep our Pteranodon in the skies at least. And with that, we had enough to be able to make some pieces for this greenhouse, and we could just start piecing this all together. We eventually ran out of crystal and needed to go collect some more. It wasn't until the following day that we could actually complete this greenhouse. With this greenhouse in, we gained a 300% greenhouse effect from all of our crops. Now we just have to figure out how to get some alpha blood, some golden treats, and even some cooked prime meat. With the alpha blood, we could just use our Rex to go and hunt down some alphas, and we might be able to pick up some prime meats from some of the creatures along the way as well. This Bronto in particular dropped quite a bit. We managed to kill a whole bunch of creatures, but didn't really come across any alphas. Now, prime alpha dinos definitely drop alpha blood, but I just wasn't confident that my vanilla Rex could beat one. We eventually managed to come across this Alpha Dilo and Alpha Raptor, which we managed to kill and get some alpha blood from them, and a whole bunch of black pearls and some prime meat as well. We returned back to base and I placed all of this loot into the Annunaki lab bench. I then crafted this industrial grill so we could cook up some of this prime meat rather quickly. We're still waiting for our crops to grow, but whilst we wait, we went to go hunt down a golden dodo. We found this one close by and I got my Rex out to fight it. This dodo had 66,000 health points, and I wasn't doing a lot of damage with this vanilla Rex. Make things worse, this dodo was absolutely wrecking my Rex. I was starting to get fearful that my Rex was going to die, so I went to get a soul ball out to try and soul ball it and escape, but neither myself or my Rex survived. God damn it! To say I was disappointed was quite the understatement, but we really need to progress so we can start taming some real modded creatures. I went ahead and upgraded my crossbow as much as I possibly could with the resources that I had and crafted up a crazy amount of arrows. The following day I went back to the golden dodo, but before I started fighting it, I made sure to get the saddle from the Rex that died. A stupid raptor wanted to come and try and fight me. I used my grapple hook to get some height, then shot the raptor in the butt and it ran away. I then tried to get the attention of the golden dodo, but it was kind of hard to aim with all the shaking on the screen. So I dropped down onto the hard land, took my aim, and got the attention of the dodo. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. Get back up, get back up, get back up. All right, game time, baby. Now all I needed to do was just take this dodo out. 300 points of damage at a time. This was going to take quite a while. Oh, about damn time. I dropped down to this golden dodo, harvested it, and got the golden treats from it. But then I look up and see this. Holy crap! I wasn't about to fight this thing. After all, I've got everything that I possibly need. Once I returned back to base, I placed everything that we had gotten into the Annunaki lab bench, and then I checked to see what else I needed. And it looks like we're just missing 50 of each type of vegetable. I checked my crop plots, and it didn't seem like we had enough just yet. We're just gonna have to find a way to keep ourselves busy for a while until we have enough crops so we can start taming some modded creatures. Firstly, I saw a red drop in the distance, so I flew straight over there to go and retrieve it. Then I encountered one of many ARK bugs. No! It disappeared on me! Just as I got here. Wait, no. It's saying it's right in front of me. Why can't I? What? It says it's got 30 health. What the? Okay, that's weird. It's like not in my screen, but I can still grab it. The loot that I got out of this drop was pretty good typically, but I don't know if I'm going to use most of it. Except for this omnidirectional lamppost. I could definitely use this. And to kill some more time whilst we wait for the crops to grow, I went and harvested a whole bunch of stone. All so I could start working on this base. It's been so basic for a long time that we should probably build it up and turn it into something. And there we have it. Look, I did plan on building this into some sort of like penile power base, but it just didn't end up happening. I'm starting to realize that this mod requires you to have a whole lot of resources. And we all know that Ankies are a great way to be able to farm metal. With this level 150 on the map, I had to tame it. I was kind of worried that that alpha Anki was going to try and fight us if I'm shooting its friend here. The alpha Anki didn't aggro at all, and we managed to knock this out quite easily. Whilst we wait for the Anki to tame up, we went into this underground cavern kind of place. A lot of people that have played this map before will be quite familiar on where we are. We're heading over to this little, I don't even know what this is called, because there's an artifact out in the open. Since we're here, we might as well pick it up. Next, we went on a hunt for another dino that's great for resource harvesting. The good old sperm dinosaur, Dodicarus. I shot this little roly-poly dinosaur in the face, but it wasn't alone. It had this saber-tooth here too. I went to try and escape, and it seems like the saber-tooth started going after this Dodicarus. I wanted to rescue the Dodicarus from all of its pain, but these saber-tooths were really wanting their dinner. I managed to kite these saber-tooths off the side of the mountain, but when I returned to these Dodicaruses, they were curled up in their balls, making them much harder to tame. I figured if I left for a little bit and maybe came out of render, they might just come out of their balls and I can then shoot them again. This level 20 appeared to be out of its ball, but I don't think it was. As I was trying to kill it, another saber-tooth joined the party, and it almost killed my waffle number 5. The following day, I returned back to this Dodicarus. It seemed like it was out of its curled up ball so I could shoot it and deal some torpor damage, but I don't think it was. I think this was like a visual bug. In the end, we just bailed on the whole idea of getting this Dodicarus and then went to go fetch this Anki that had fully tamed up. I then returned back to base and checked my crops. We had enough to be able to make one of these badass treats. I immediately crafted up this badass fire treat. There was one particular creature on the map that I wanted to try and tame, and that's this level 150 badass fire pteranodon. Unfortunately, this thing was in the redwoods with lots of dangerous creatures around that like to just bite. I patiently waited for it to come close to the ground, threw a bowler at it, then shot it with these modded trank arrows. We managed to put this down in one hit. I then fed it the badass treat, and now we wait and hopefully try and keep it alive and maybe nothing will come over and try and kill it. I teleported back to base in hopes that maybe being out of render might keep it safe. We just waited here and watched from a distance. Yep. I then remembered in the Annunaki lab bench you can make this sedative elixir. This is basically like a taming potion. You feed it to a knocked out dino and its hunger will drop to 0, meaning you can tame it basically instantly. Once made, I teleported straight back to the fire pteranodon, and then I heard his terror bird eating away at the pteranodon. I quickly fed the sedative to it so it would tame up instantly, and then I put it in one of these soul balls. Unfortunately, because of this whole terror bird incident with this badass pteranodon, it didn't get many bonus levels, making this pteranodon not that great considering it was a level 150. As we began flying, I realized that the controls and handling are very different on this pteranodon than normal. This thing flies kind of weird. Oh, it hits pretty hard considering. That's not bad. And there we have it, our very first modded tame, the Fire Pteranodon. We arrived back at the safety of our base, and I went ahead and named this Fire Pteranodon Flaming Waffles. I also couldn't forget that we tamed ourselves a new Anki as well. I made a saddle, put it on his back, and we have to go test him out. Unfortunately, he kind of sucks at gathering metal. The Nano's multi-tool that we're using is significantly better. Taming this Anki might have been a waste of time. It's now day 26, and I'd love nothing more than to be able to tame some more modded creatures. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to wait until our veggie crops grow some more. But for now, I'm gonna take my Flaming Waffles and go and murder some helpless penguins. Now that we're using this metal multi-tool, we're getting a lot more polymer than we did earlier. Now, what exactly did I need this polymer for? Honestly, I have no idea. We're just trying to kill some time until our crops grow so we can go tame some more modded creatures. And harvesting resources is a good and productive way to, you know, kill some time. We've been gathering so much random stuff around the area and lots of resources. I need somewhere to store it. That's why I made this big ass vault. I need a ridiculous amount of metal. So I placed down a few extra forges so we can start smelting this up a little bit faster. Now, why exactly do I want so much metal? That's because I want to start working towards crafting the Annunaki forge. It's pretty expensive, and it's not just metal that we need. We also need a crazy amount of cementing paste. So with that, I crafted up this ghillie suit, searched for some giant bees on the map, and started flying over to it so I can tame myself a giant bee. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I need to get myself a giant bee? And what does that have to do with cementing paste? Well, basically, honey is one of the ingredients that I need to be able to craft some vegetable cake. And vegetable cake is what I need to be able to tame myself a snail that once I put into the SCS terminal, it'll passively produce acatina paste that works like cementing paste. And giant bees are passive tames. I just need some rare flowers in my hotbar and the ghillie suit so it doesn't detect me, and then I run up behind it, shove some rare flowers up its butt, and make it our friend. I did this a second time as well. After all, it can't hurt to have some extra honey. Once you tame the giant queen bees, you can turn them into beehives, bring them back to base, and place them down. You just gotta make sure that they're fed with rare flowers to keep them producing honey. Day 28, I made a refrigerator to make sure some of these things don't spoil, but I could also make this badass poison treat. We're now on the hunt to go tame ourselves a badass poison pteranodon. Honestly, I probably should have done this before the fire pteranodon, but fire pteranodons are just so damn cool. Now, why are poison creatures so damn valuable? If it's not obvious, well, that's because they deal torpor damage, which means that these become an amazing creature to help us tame more creatures. I fed this pteranodon a sedative potion, and it woke up and started pooping everywhere. Whoa, holy diarrhea. And now we have our very own poison pteranodon. I went ahead and named this pteranodon Toxic Waffles. Of course, I had to test out its ability to knock creatures out. This Bronto would make a good test dummy since they have a lot of torpor. One hit, and I think we've proven that poison pteranodons are a great addition to the team. I just had to sit there and start pecking its butt for a little bit, and it would go to sleep just like that. Now that we have Toxic Waffles on our hand, it's time that we tame something that will help us progress significantly through this game. Something like this badass Frost Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's not an amazing level dinosaur, but it's the highest one we could find on the map currently. Man, we are dealing serious torpor damage. Oh, where are you going, sir? Okay, see you later. My aim was to tame this Tyrannosaurus Rex, but I didn't have any of the badass frost treats on me. So I returned back to base to go and craft one, and realized I didn't have enough alpha blood to craft it. So I quickly went out to go and hunt down some alpha creatures, kind of weak ones that I can harvest a little bit of alpha blood from, so that I could craft up this badass treat. Whilst we're out here exploring, we might as well try and stock up on as much as possible. Day 29, and we managed to get enough alpha blood to be able to make one of these badass treats. There was this level 130 Frost Tyrannosaurus in the center island. It was hiding behind this waterfall right here. There were a lot of other really powerful creatures nearby, and I didn't want to hit the water and get knocked off my tame. So I was trying to stay cautious when trying to knock this out. But whilst I was attacking the Rex, this Prime Alpha Sabertooth came in to join the party. And for some reason, this badass Rex wanted to fight the Prime Alpha, and it died. Freaking hell. All of that work for nothing. Stupid freaking game. That's ARK for you though. We now need to find an alternative to tame. We discovered that there was a level 130 Frost Tyrannosaurus Rex on the map, all the way over on Lava Island. It was kind of difficult to try and knock this thing out when you can't see because of the trees. So I kited it out to this little beach right here. Then it went into the water, and I was again worried that I was going to get kicked off of my tame. So I jumped onto this little cliff face here and began shooting it with my crossbow. It looked like it was going to start chasing me again, so I jumped back on my PT and managed to knock it out with my poison pteranodon. I fed it the sedative elixir and then its treat, and now we have a badass Frost Rex. I went ahead and named him Alotta. I didn't come up with this name. This was my friend Gamer K. It's some sort of reference from some sort of movie or something. I don't know. If you know what it is, comment below. Anyways, we're back to trying to make this Annunaki forge. Having this powerful Rex on our side should make getting black pearls a little bit easier, since it should make it a little bit easier to take down some of these alpha creatures. And yes, it kind of did make things a lot easier. Day 30, and we're still in the redwoods killing things because it's just so much damn fun now. A few levels under our belt, I was kind of confident confident to try and take on something a little bit stronger. Yes, like this Prime Alpha Terror Bird. I realized because this is a Frost Rex, one of its abilities is that it will slow down anything that it hits. And that ability, coupled with the fact that it knocks its enemies backwards, means that my Rex does all the damage and takes very little. And just like that, we can collect a whole bunch of black pearls. This Rex isn't invincible though. If it does get hit, it takes quite a lot of damage for what it is. So it's time to put it away and let it rest. I know our main goal is to get this industrial forge, but as I was looking through some of the blueprints, I saw that we could make these Annunaki hatchets and Annunaki pickaxes. And I was reading through it and realized that they harvest a lot more than just what they typically harvest in the vanilla variant. I need to get my hands on some more black pearls and we can make one of them at least. I managed to find this Prime Alpha Dilo and absolutely obliterate it, which gave me enough black pearls to make this Annunaki pick. This was really expensive. We lost a lot of black pearls on this. I sure hope it was worth it. Immediately, I took flaming waffles out to go and test out this pick. This thing gathers a lot of metal, silica pearls, and crystal at the same time from metal nodes. From obsidian nodes, you get stone, obsidian, and metal. From crystal, you get crystal and silica pearls. I definitely didn't need to get that Anki at all. These hand tools are significantly better than anything else I can get. I want to work towards getting this Annunaki hatchet, which will then allow me to cut down trees and I'll get sap from them, which I can then use to make some vegetable cake and then get myself some snails. I know we kind of got distracted from doing that a little bit earlier, but hey, now we're really in the thick of the game, so it's fun time. We had harvested our veggie crop once again and could now go out and tame another dino. Flaming waffles wasn't going to be able to cut it obviously, so I need to get my toxic waffles out. Anyways, we're here to tame this level 150 badass fire Tyrannosaurus Rex. I mean, I can't have a playthrough without having a fire type dinosaur. They're just too freaking cool. I knocked this thing out quite easily if you ask me, fed it all that it required and made it ours. I immediately put a saddle on its back because I wanted to test this big boy out. It honestly wasn't as strong as I thought it would be, but we were able to easily take out this Alpha Carno and all the little pests that were around it. Day 31, I crafted up another Rex saddle and began upgrading it. Since the Rex is going to be our main killer from now on to help us progress, it probably needs a decent saddle. My brand new Fire Rex had suffered a little bit of damage from fighting that alpha creature before, and it just wasn't healing fast enough for us. So next I crafted this industrial cooker, found this nice open spot to place it down, and started making some medical brews. This is so I can make these modded health elixirs. They require a fair bit of resources to be able to make, including my own blood, but you can use them to instantly heal one of your dinos, which means we don't have to wait for it to heal up. We can get straight back into the fight. Our Frost Rex is now completely healed up. I think this is going to be our main Rex for now until we progress. Because of its slowing ability and knockback, it's just a better fighter all around. Next we head into the swamp, and for two reasons. We're currently pretty damn strong, so I'm not too scared of all the dangers that are around here, and we can go and gather some cementing paste kind of easily. Literally, nothing stood in our way from us getting this cementing paste. But also, I realized there was a lot of prime alphas and alpha creatures in the swamp area as well, which means we can now stock up on alpha blood and black pearls. We stayed out here for quite a while, but then our Rex started getting pretty beat up, so it was time for us to head on home. After I yoinked some more cementing paste from this beaver dam, I arrived back home and the first thing that I did was make this chemistry bench. We're going to need a whole lot of narcotics moving forward, especially since you need narcotics for health potions and for stronger tranquilizers for these higher tier dinos. I also decided to seal up this greenhouse completely. I don't really have to because the 300% greenhouse effect already works without this, but I don't know, sometimes you get a little bit bored and feel like doing it. The fact that our creatures are now starting to get quite beat up means we're going to have to craft a lot of these health elixirs just to keep them alive. And one of the main ingredients for these health elixirs is rare flowers, and this silica pearl cave has a lot of them. We also found another use for this Anki. Apparently they can harvest rare flowers kind of easily. Huh. It's kind of working. I mean, it's not a lot of flowers, but I'll take it. This Anki was actually pretty strong as well, so it managed to dispatch a lot of these cave critters quite easily. We didn't spend too long in this cave. We just grabbed what we needed and then decided to leave. Our Frost Rex was healed up, so we went out going on a bit of a murderous spree. It's always nice getting to the certain level where you can actually start dominating a lot of creatures on the map. This Alpha Carno stood no chance against us. After I was done having a bit of fun, I teleported straight back to base. Then I realized our teleporter area is kind of cramped, so I decided to build another area right here. This area was going to have two purposes. I was planning on leaving this completely open so I could teleport here and not have any obstacles in my way, and later on I plan on turning this into like a breeding area. Day 33, we head on over to this ice cavern underground area thing. I don't know what this is called. Someone comment below and tell me what this place is called. And we're here so we can come and collect this artifact once again. But also to make our lives a little bit easier, I placed down an awesome teleporter here as well so that we can come back here whenever we need. Thank you once again for the artifact. Now I didn't come back to collect this artifact for no reason. I need an artifact so I can make this Annunaki hatchet. With our brand new hatchet in hand, I had to go see what it could do. And from chopping down this tree, we got a whole bunch of sap and more wood than we normally would have gotten from a normal hatchet. I know we spoke about doing this earlier, but we finally got sap, so we could now make some veggie cakes. Then I used the creature finder to find a whole bunch of snails that were nearby. Flew around finding these snails, picked them up, brought them back to the safety of our island, shot it with this trank arrow to knock it out, then fed it some veggie cake. It only required one veggie cake to tame, so I figured we'd go out and get some more acatinas. The more we have, the more cementy paste that will cook up at the same time. There we go. We have one snail tamed up. Time to go kidnap another. In total, we managed to tame up 3 of these bad boys. Once they were all fully tamed, I placed them all into our SCS terminal so that they could start passively producing us cementing paste. On the end of this day, we flew back over to the redwood, and on the back of our Frost Tyrannosaurus Rex, we went out to go fight some tough creatures. I wanted to see if we could manage its knockback and slowdown effects against this Prime Alpha Carno. This strategy seemed to be working quite effectively, and we managed to destroy this Prime Alpha Carno whilst only suffering minor damage. And from killing this, we finally got our first Alpha chest piece. This armor gives you a bunch of stat bonuses, and I suppose it kind of looks pretty cool too. Day 34 and a beautiful specimen spawned into our ARK. A level 145 badass Frost Tyrannosaurus Rex. I absolutely had to tame this beast, but as I was attempting to knock it out, a Frost Sabertooth came into the fight as well and started attacking this Rex. I managed to kill the Frost Sabertooth though, luckily, but our Rex has sustained a lot of damage. I eventually knocked it out and fed it this badass frost treat. I didn't have a sedative on me at this time, so instead we just flew around on our waffles, exploring the map. Hey, yo, there's like islands and stuff over there. Can we go over there? Oh, nope, that's the world border. Okay. After some random shenanigans, our Rex was fully tamed up. So I wrapped this Rex up in a soul ball, then immediately flew home. I then crafted and placed down this D+ hatchery and this D+ nanny. Then I allowed these lovebirds to start making some sweet old love. I decided to give our Rexes some privacy, so we left the base and started murdering some helpless penguins. When you suck at games, this is a great way to remind yourself that you are a dominant person in your life. I am awesome. I am the man. You penguins suck. But really, I wanted to come over and steal some of these babies. I figured I could make these guys grow up and start breeding, and then I can basically have my own polymer farm here back at home. Of course, I can't do this without having some air conditioners around the place as well. By now, we also had an egg that was ready to hatch, so I threw it out next to these air conditioners, and once it popped, oh, we got twins! Yeah, sick. 2 for the price of 1. Or females as well. We finally had 2 baby Rexes. Now we just gotta wait for them to grow up so that we can start breeding again. Day 35, we returned back to the swamp area. I needed to go and gather just a little bit more cementing paste for a certain thing. Now, what is that thing, you might be thinking? Well, it's quite simple. It's the Annunaki Forge. Yes, we finally have enough resources that we can make this. I needed to see how good this thing really was and was it worth it. So I placed some metal in it and just watched it smelt up. This is basically instant. With the success of gaining a new forge, it was time for us to pamper ourselves a little bit. Now, this wouldn't be a fun playthrough if I didn't do my signature look. There we go. The red hair with the mustache. Oh, and also we managed to pick up some alpha pants along the way. Recently, we've started progressing along quite nicely, but now we need to look into the future and see what else we need to do. We need to start preparing so we can get strong enough to fight some of these wardens or even possibly some of these primal creatures. The next tier of creature that we need to tame are the alphas. But for now, I just want to solidify the fact that we have some frost creatures breeding, so, you know, we don't run out of them at least. If they die, which they will likely do. We're definitely going to have to make ourselves a little bit stronger, and a good way to do that is probably by upgrading our armor. I managed to have enough resources to upgrade our alpha armor a little bit. We managed to score ourselves just over 1,000 armor point, making this piece of armor pretty damn strong if you ask me. Day 36, we're back over here collecting some more polymer from these penguins. I know that we started breeding our own penguins for some polymer, but it's just taking way too long. We need polymer now. I specifically needed it for this contraption that we're building right now, the industrial grinder. We've been collecting so much random loot from all the creatures that we're killing that I figured having this might be a good way to be able to recycle some of the stuff so we can turn it into some more resources and make some better items like this bunk bed. Do we need it right now? Not really, but hey, I don't know. It's kind of good to have. Next, we were able to hatch a few of these penguins. So I went ahead and bonked some of them on the head so we can collect their skin for polymer. Problem is, we didn't get as much polymer as I thought we were going to. I don't even know if this is a worthwhile way to do this. Anyways, one failed experiment down, it's time for us to start thinking about progression. We need to tame ourselves an Alpha T-Rex. The problem is, there really isn't any high-level Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rexes on the map. I really only have one solution for this, and that is to just kill all the Rexes that we can find and hope that a high level spawns in. Ooh, we got an Alpha helmet. Even normal Rexes aren't safe. I figured if I kill these, it might increase the chance of an Alpha Rex spawning as well. It's now day 37, and since Alpha Rexes seem to be unavailable to us right now, I figured we'll go and try and tame a different type of Alpha. Maybe something like this Alpha Sabertooth. I start hitting it with my toxic waffles to try and knock it out, then a Rex comes into play. It didn't last long, and that wasn't me that killed it. As I was swooping in to try and deal some torpor on this Sabertooth, I got attacked by some zombie dodos. So to get rid of them, I picked them up and dropped them in the middle of the ocean. Stupid freaking dodos. Eventually, I managed managed to knock out this high level Sabertooth. Then I fed it some narco berries because its torpor was dropping quite rapidly, and then I gave it an alpha treat. Whilst we're waiting for this alpha Sabertooth to tame up, I saw an overgrown red pigeon flying through the bushes. This thing was a level 150 alpha Argy, and it had 118,000 health points. I had to tame this big chicken. After all, this is ARK, and when an opportunity arises, you need to take it. We managed to get it on the run, and then it finally went to sleep. I didn't have any more alpha treats on me, so I had to race back home to go and craft one. I also had no idea if I had enough ingredients to be able to make one. Luckily, I did, so I quickly whipped up an alpha treat and swiftly raced back over to this alpha Argentavis so that I can feed it this delectable treat. Oh, I also had some alpha sedatives on me as well, so this was instant tame. I had one for the alpha Sabertooth as well, but it was already tamed up, so that's a good thing, right? My initial goal was to tame the alpha Sabertooth, but I think I was more excited about this alpha Argentavis. It tamed with 170,000 health points. This is easily one of our strongest dinos yet. What was weird though is this alpha Sabertooth only came with 22,000 health points. In this mod, alpha creatures require a different type of saddle. They're kind of expensive to make, but once you get to a certain level, it becomes a bit easier. With these creatures being more powerful, I had to name them. This alpha Sabertooth, we named Dominic. We will name our Argentavis a little bit later, but for now, we're going to use our alpha Sabertooth to go and do something. Yes, I wanted to use this alpha Sabertooth to go and run some caves. I wanted to stock up on a whole bunch of chitin, and I figured being an alpha tier dino, we should be able to do this a lot quicker and easier than normal. I quickly realized that he wasn't as strong as I'd kind of hoped he was. I thought he would do a lot more damage than he's doing, but I don't know. Anyway, we did manage to gather a bunch of chitin. Next, I went to go visit one of our friends in the server. This is Mr. Pineapple's base. This is some of his pyromanes. He asked me to craft something for him that he can't make yet because it's part of the Bob's Tall Tales thing. We also invited him to the Game Over Gang Alliance. Okay, back to the chitin that we had gotten from the cave. I got it so we could upgrade our alpha armor pieces. Next, I wanted to see how good our alpha Argentavis really was. I came over to the redwoods and I saw this weird thing happening in the ground here. That right there is a warden, and it's kind of bugged out at the moment. When you're in the vicinity of a warden, you get these little debuffs that happen to you. Obviously, I didn't want to lose this Argentavis, so we left. Then I began attacking this alpha Diabear. We don't currently do significant amount of damage, but the fact that we can fly and we have a massive health pool, I think we can take down this alpha Diabear and this prime alpha Diabear that came to join the party. We were losing a bit of health, but we managed to take out one of these alpha Diabears. And because we're riding an Argentavis, if it harvests anything that it kills, it'll then heal up a little bit. But is it enough for us to be able to defeat this prime alpha Diabear? We are getting our butt kicked for sure, but we're so damn close. We just got to try our best to hit this thing and not get hit ourselves. It only has 7,000 health points left, 2,000, 1,000, and we have defeated this alpha Diabear. Defeating the alpha Diabear, we gained a whole lot of levels. I increased its health a little bit, but then I put a lot into its melee. I then raced back home so I could heal this Argentavis back up. I quickly crafted up some health elixirs, fed it to the alpha Argentavis, and since everything was going so well and our relationship was growing, I had to name this big bird. I named this big bird Caden. I don't know how I came up with that name or where it came from. It's just something that I thought was kind of cool. Once healed, we're back at it. And now since we leveled our melee up, we're doing a whole lot more damage. Quite satisfying taking out a whole beach of pathetic dinosaurs. Next, I went to go test this big bird's might out against these golden turkeys. And yes, we were smashing these Thanksgiving dinners in the face, dealing a whole bunch of damage. We also managed to stock up on some golden kibble as well. We had proven that this big bird can take on some prime alpha dinos, a golden turkey, but can it take on an uber tier dino? Next, I went to go find out. If you're wondering what is an uber tier, the uber tier comes after the alpha tier. They're usually a boss variant dino, like this Dodo Rexy. Another advantage that alpha creatures give is that they nash their enemies. So not only am I doing 1,000 damage per hit, it's also adding more damage over time as well. We managed to defeat this Dodo Rexy, and it was a little bit easier than fighting that prime alpha Diabear earlier. Day 39, I crafted up a whole bunch of these metal arrows so that I could make these tranquilizer metal arrows. These arrows mixed with a decent compound bow should be a lot stronger than the darts or the crossbow that we've been using. I was hoping to be able to use this on an alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex, but there was only one on the map and it's a really low level. So the only thing we could do today was go out and cull the Rex population in the map, including the low level alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex. Day 40, we discovered that there was a level 150 alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex on the map. Problem is, this particular one is the prime alpha, so it's not tameable. I was curious to see if we could defeat it in battle though. I had a spare Frost Rex with us and it died quickly. We were biting away, but we were also getting quite easily munched on. I had to escape this situation. I didn't really feel like dying today. I returned on Caden. I figured having a flying alpha creature like this that does a lot of damage and has a high health pool would be our best option in order to defeat this beast. We had a couple health potions on us and remained consistent when attacking this. This fight took us quite a while, but we did manage to defeat this Rex. I kind of thought the fact that this thing was so damn strong, we would have got better loot from it than we did. Honestly, it's not really worth fighting a prime alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex. There's much weaker creatures that you can kill and get the same kind of loot and stuff from it, like this prime alpha raptor. This took us a quarter of the time to kill and we got pretty similar amount of loot. Prime alpha Dilo, same thing. Although it's not as much loot, it's still still just a much easier fight. Day 41, and I realized that this RG has another really handy use. Its weight stat is extremely high, and I didn't touch it when I was leveling it up. So of course, I went over to some really well-known metal spots and just started harvesting as much as I could, and just kept filling this bird up. Since we were harvesting with these Annunaki tools, we gained a bunch of crystal and silica pearls as well. I discovered this cool looking cave behind this waterfall, which didn't seem to have any dangerous critters in here, but it did have a whole lot of metal that we could mine. Our bird is extremely full, but it can still hold a lot more. We returned back to base with a whole lot of resources and filled this forge quite the ways up. Also, there's still no decent Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rexes on the map, so we just have to destroy what's here and hope more spawn in later. Day 42, and there was this level 85 Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex on the map. At this point, I decided to just tame it. What's the worst that can happen? Other than my PT's head almost getting completely chewed off, I realized we're gonna have to do this on foot. I can't risk losing my toxic waffles, and this was an opportunity to be able to test out the metal tranquilizer arrows. I shot the Rex with the metal trank arrows and watched the torpor rise rapidly. I shot it again, and then I realized I'm out of arrows. Oh crap, it's chasing me! Oh crap, oh crap. Am I gonna die here right now? Am I gonna... Wait, it's not really doing that much damage. Dude, our armor is goated. Seems like upgrading our armor was a W move. I also realized I had some normal trank arrows on me. Thing is, they don't do a lot of torpor damage against this Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex. So I quickly teleported back to base and stocked up on some of the modded tranquilizer arrows. I also brought my long neck just in case. Once I returned back to this Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex, it didn't take very long for me to be able to knock this out. Go down, go down. Yes, we got him. We have now tamed one of our strongest dinosaurs, the Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex. I brought this Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex back to base and went ahead and named her Sandy. Made a saddle for this pink baby and went out to go test her might. Considering it has no levels in it, 800 damage isn't terrible, but it's not great either. Increased its level a little bit, and now we're doing 1100 damage per hit. That does make a significant difference. Also, because this is an alpha, it does Nash damage as well. That's why a lot of these creatures are just melting to 1 or 2 bites. I then flew back to base and noticed that there was a ton of babies just growing up around our base area, and it looks kind of messy. I want to kind of fix this. Then I remembered I'm actually the owner of this server, so I could just go into the admin settings of the SCS terminal and make it that all dinosaurs grow up inside the terminal. This does feel a little bit cheaty, but when you're playing on a server with a few other people also doing mass breeding, this helps reduce the lag on the servers. And if you don't like it, go lick a toe or something. Next, I made a little addition to our base right here. I wanted to make kind of like an interior second level to our base. There was no real purpose behind doing this, just other than the fact that we needed to kill some time, again hoping a high level Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex would spawn in the server. This balcony doesn't do anything other than just kind of add some aesthetic to our base, but it doesn't get in the way, so it looks kind of cool, I guess. Day 43, and it finally happened. Hold on a second, is that what I think it is? Yes, yes, yes. There it is, there it is, there it is, finally. A max level 150 Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex. I wanted to try and knock it out with my toxic waffles, trying to avoid its face so I don't get bitten and absolutely destroyed. Unfortunately, toxic waffles did get bitten and almost died. Toxic waffles, that was way too close for comfort. In the end, I just got the good old crossbow out and began shooting it. I managed to eventually knock it out, but before I could feed it, there was this badass Frost Argentavis right next to it. So I shot that to try and kite it away. In the end, I just teleported back to base. Because I didn't have an alpha treat on me currently, I had to go and make one. I fed it to the Alpha Rex, and just like that, we now have our very own Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex. Also, did I mention that the Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex that we just tamed was a male? So our girl Sandy here has got a good friend. I had to name it, of course, so I named it Andy. And Sandy and Andy are going to be sitting in a tree, Kissexing. Because Sandy's such a low level, we're going to try and breed these guys together until we can get a decent stat pair. There's a chance that the babies could come out with Sandy's stats, which is kind of horrible. Ideally, we would like a male and a female that comes out with Andy's stat, but that could take quite a while to happen. For now, I went out to go tame myself a Therizino. There had just been a dino wipe, so there wasn't really any high level ones on the map at the moment. I was just taming whatever one I could get my hands on. But as we were waiting for that particular one to tame up, we spotted others on the map, so I went to go tame them as well. Then all of a sudden, this level 145 appeared. This is definitely the one we have to tame. Funny though, the one that we targeted was actually the baby. We knocked out the mummy anyway. And just to confuse things even more, we found a level 140 Therizino on the map. I didn't even know how many we're going to tame at this point. The 145 woke up, so we claimed that. Obviously, I had to claim its baby as well. We got our hands on the 140 as well. Then I returned back to base and made these guys start breeding. Our base currently is just a big love shack. Day 44, and I can reveal the whole purpose of us taming this Therizino. We're starting to run a little low on these rare flowers, and apparently you can take a Therizino into the swamp and harvest rare flowers from certain bushes. We searched around for quite a while, but didn't seem to come across any rare flowers. Literally trying all different types of bushes, even the ones that kind of resemble flowers. But then we got a little bit too close to this broodmother Lystrix. I didn't think it was going to be so aggressive. I was just trying to pick some flowers. Ah, rip. Damn it. There goes one of the Therazinos. Luckily we got multiple. That I decided they could grow up next to their parent. Anyways, I managed to return back to the swamp and try this again. We found that there was a bunch of flowers in these lily pads, so I figured surely we'll get some rare flowers from this, and we didn't get a single rare flower. Guys, let me know in the comments, am I doing something wrong or am I just extremely unlucky? I thought I would have gotten rare flowers from anywhere around here, and I just didn't. It's not the end of the world though. Remember, we still know a different location that we can guarantee will give us some rare flowers. Inside this silica pearl cave, I ran on in, got my Therazino out, killed the local inhabitant, and began harvesting rare flowers. Oh yes, we're getting heaps. Nice. Yes, 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 give me rare flowers. We legitimately got so many damn rare flowers. This little trip was well worth it. Now we should be able to stock up on a bunch of health elixirs. Day 45 and we have a whole bunch of cutesy little alpha rexes growing up. We even managed to acquire a female that with the stats that we're looking for, specifically in its health and melee. Say cheese. That's a pretty cool shot. Since we have a really good female breeder growing up currently, I figured I'd take Sandy out to kind of push the limits of the alpha rexes. She is our weakest alpha rex that we have, so testing her strength out against some of these stronger creatures will be a good benchmark moving forward. And honestly, Sandy really holds her own. By the end of this day, our female breeder was ready to start breeding. This brings new meaning to daddy-daughter time. Day 46 was just one of them days that we're just trying to get our house in order, trying to breed some really good stat rexes. We then went out to harvest as many berries as we could around the island, then began cooking up a bunch of narcotics and stimulant. They call me Walter White. Next, I went to go bully some really strong golden turkeys so we could stock up on some more golden kibble. And we need quite a bit of it because we're going to tame something really interesting quite soon. Not many of these guys currently spawn on the map, so we're just kind of taking out what we can. Then for the remainder of the day, we had to fight and kill a bunch of alpha creatures to collect their blood. We're also going to need a whole bunch of black pearls as well for what we're trying to craft. What exactly could we possibly be trying to craft right now? We want to craft this drake treat. It's time that we go and tame ourselves one of these badass drakes. Day 47 and we're feeling kind of drippy. So yes, we take a good look at ourselves. I don't really know why we did this. We just did it. Anyways, of course, our main mission today is to go and tame one of these badass poison drakes. Hello, Mr. 150. Did that do no torpor? We're attempting to knock out this badass poison drake on the back of our pteranodon, which means we're really going to have to test out our aerial combat skills. We are for sure dealing some torpor, but he's also doing torpor damage to us as well. I really didn't want to lose Toxic Waffles. We've had such a good ride, so I had to put it away for now. Then we're just going to have to try and take this guy out the old-fashioned way. I was soon reminded why I don't play any first-person shooter games. That's because my aim kind of sucks. I did manage to land a couple arrows, but ultimately it was starting to get a little bit difficult, so I got Toxic Waffles back out. Things were going well until this happened. Crap! No, is it dead? Is it dead? No, not dead, not dead. Okay, back in the ball. Oh my gosh, that was so close. We really have no choice but to take this out with our crossbow. I finally figured out that if I just shoot a little bit ahead of it, I'd be able to land my shots. Then I could put this mini dragon to sleep and feed it the drake treat. Kind of looks like candy corn. I then went to teleport back to base so I can get a sedative, but oh crap, this isn't our base. This is not our base. Oh, hello, Mr. Allosaurus. Crap. Okay, let's try that again. Now we teleported back to base successfully. I whipped up one of these sedative elixirs and returned back to this badass poison drake. And just like that, we have now tamed our own badass poison drake. I went ahead and named it Drizzy. You know, like Drizzy Drake. I really wanted to ride this drake right now, but we just can't. That's because we haven't made a drake saddle just yet. That's also because the drake saddle actually requires drake hide. So I guess we're going out to murder some drakes. We got to kill quite a few of them so we can get enough hide so we can make ourselves a drake saddle. Made it back to base so I could whip up a good old drake saddle. I made sure to upgrade it in our imbue bench just to, you know, for extra protection, and put it on the back of our Drizzy Drake. Then of course I had to go see its power, specifically its knockout power. I aimed at this turtle, hit it once, hit it twice, and it was asleep. We're not doing a significant amount of damage, but the fact that it knocks things out rather quickly is a good sign. Day 48 was one of those days that we really didn't do anything very notable. We basically just flew around the map on our Drake, just kind of having a little bit of fun experimenting on what we could knock out. Then we went and collected a few artifacts, like this one that we already have an awesome teleporter at, which I used to upgrade our Annunaki hatchet. I wanted to upgrade it another time, but I needed another artifact, and I am aware of one that we can access by flying. This center island has a cave that you can fly straight on into right here. You zoom all the way through down here and boom, there is the artifact. Hey, there we go. Thank you. Yoink. Now our Annunaki hatchet is at 300%. The idea behind upgrading this Annunaki hatchet was so that we could harvest more hide or blood from creatures, so that we could somehow lessen the grind in this game. I used the hatchet to harvest this diabear, and I'm unsure if it was much better or not. Day 49, I took Caden to go squash a massive bug. This broodmother Listrix. Yeah, I wanted payback from when it killed myself and the Therazina earlier. Caden was absolutely dominating this spider until this. Whoa. Whoa, what What just happened? My biggest fear right now is the fact that we might have lost Caden. I quickly retrieved all of my stuff and began flying back to our death marker on the back of Toxic Waffles. When I made it back, I saw that Caden was fighting this big spider. I was hoping that I was praying that it wouldn't die to this spider, and it didn't. Instead, Caden handled its business by itself. Then we had to listen to Helena talk about these spiders. Blah, 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 blah. Cool, spiders are dangerous, and yeah, you have an Australian accent. Amazing. Next, I got out one of my Alpha Rexes. This particular one has the stats that we wanted and is imprinted. That's why it's doing a whole lot of damage. 2,900 damage, and we are absolutely wrecking these guys. It's now day 50, and I think it's time that we go and attempt to fight a boss level dino, like this Primal Dodo Rex. First, I just want to get rid of some of the inhabitants around it. I'd like to fight it one-on-one. I don't think this Primal Dodo Rex really enjoyed my presence here. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Oh, dude. Shoot, that was close. Anyways, once he stopped aggroing on me, I could begin preparations to fight him. Since we've been breeding so many of our Rexes, I decided I wanted to bring a whole army of them. Firstly, I ordered my army to go and attack this Primal Dodo Rexy. Go get him, my little minions. You got this. Oh no! They're not lasting. Oh my god, they just got absolutely murdered. I'm sorry, my army of Dodo. Wait, did they die before even getting close? I went in to go and try and help somehow, but I didn't last very long either. I was riding a pretty strong Alpha Rex. For us to get murdered so quickly and easily, I don't know how we're supposed to do this. Also, the Alpha Rex that I was riding had a really good saddle on it, and I wanted to try and get it back. I raced over on my Toxic Waffles, and I put him away to try and keep him safe and ran over on foot. Hey buddy, you're cool, right? We're chilling. No, you're not. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. God damn it. Just want the saddle, bro. I kind of gave up on the idea of getting that saddle back. I did manage to move this personal grave inside, though. That's a win at least. Day 51, and we're going to have to try and figure out how to get strong enough in order to be able to fight and defeat one of these primal creatures. I made one of these SCS terminals and placed it outside. This one is specifically going to be used just for breeding. Next, I made a chibi stand on our little balcony that we built inside and placed my chibi in it. I then went to go and kill this Dodo Rex. This was payback for the primal Dodo Rex that killed us and my whole army of dinos. We were really close to Atlas and Milkshake's base as well, so I went by for a quick visit. They had quite a few cute dinos. Since we lost our Alpha Rex saddle, I went out to go kill some more Alpha creatures so I could harvest their blood and hide so I could make a new Alpha Rex saddle and upgrade it as well. It was taking quite a while to find decent creatures to be able to harvest their blood and hide from. Then I remembered I have a whole bunch of Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rexes in my own base, and I can just harvest them for their blood and hide. Doing this just with my hatchet takes us quite a while. I'm gonna have to figure something out to make this a bit easier. Day 52, I went to go hunt down another golden turkey. This is significantly easier than it used to be thanks to our Alpha Argentavis Caden. I needed to gather a whole bunch more of this golden kibble, and one turkey wasn't enough. I needed to go kill this golden dodo as well. I had the thought that maybe if we tame a badass fire drake, that might be the solution for us to be able to kill a primal creature. I found one on the map, and then I jumped on the back of Drizzy Drake and flew over to this level 150 badass fire drake. I'm grateful I'm on the back of this poison drake, since this should make knocking this out much easier. It is in some ways. It's just not when we get set on fire and our whole screen turns into a big blaze. If I didn't have the badass fire drake tracked, I wouldn't be able to see anything. But of course, we just made it work, and we were still able to knock this guy out. As I was taming this drake up, Atlas let me know that he had a female badass drake, and maybe we could breed them together.
If you let me borrow your male, I'll let you borrow my female.
Yeah.
You touch mine, I'll touch yours.
What?
Also, I named this drake Drizzy Blazed. I immediately wanted to confirm that I had made the right choice by taming this thing. So I fed it a bunch of our experience potions and went out to go attack some things. Even with no levels, we were doing quite a bit of damage. The following day, Atlas appeared out of thin air. Then he gave me his drake so I could begin breeding these two together. Once I got a creature with a decent enough stats, I would then return his dragon back to him. But for now, we must patiently wait. Not very long though, because like 10 minutes later, we had an egg that was ready to hatch. Once it hatched, I checked it inside the terminal, and for some reason, the maturity said it was completed. I popped it out of the soul ball and realized it was fully grown up instantly. Because it was a female, I just threw it out next to the others and started breeding them up again. Now they're just popping out eggs extremely fast, and since they grow up basically instantly, I was able to return Atlas's drake back to him. Be careful, I'm stonk. I wanted to make sure that I could get the best saddle possible for this drake, so I went out to go kill some more drakes for their hide so that I could upgrade the saddle in the upgrade bench. I was in a Discord call while I was fighting this Alpha Spinosaurus, and something happened to Atlas.
No! You fucking... Oh, I'm coming for you, bitch. No, that was my poison PT. That Alpha Carno is about to be minus life.
Oh, there he goes. I'm still using that in the vid.
Wait, did you go to my base and see me?
Yeah, I was flying straight past it. I just see you come flying out of your base just straight after you say it. Day 54, and all of a sudden we have a whole lot of badass fire drakes. Thanks to these guys instantly growing up, being able to breed these guys has been quite fast and easy. Next, I upgraded this saddle's armor as much as I could. We couldn't upgrade it much further than what it is, but it was a significant jump up in armor rating. Then I jumped on the back of this badass fire drake and went over to the redwood so we could test out its power. This drake is imprinted, so it's doing a little bit more damage, pre-levels that is. And thanks to the help of our experience potions, we had a bunch of levels that we can put into our melee and our health. I then spotted a primal Dodo Rex in the wild, and then tried my luck against it, but I'm pretty sure its fireball attack has aimbot. Okay, primal Dodo Rexes have aimbot. Proper aimbot. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm doing damage there. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Heal, 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 heal. We had quite a few close calls when fighting this thing, coming close to death a couple of times. I have no idea how we're intended to actually defeat this guy. To make things worse, out of nowhere, it completely healed up. Wait, it healed itself. There's a few problems that I'm facing right now. One is the fact that the primal Dodo Rexy just randomly heals itself. The second thing is it has 2 million health points and I'm doing an abysmal amount of damage compared to the amount of damage I'm receiving. Also, there's about to be an automated dino wipe, so this fight was kind of pointless. After the dino wipe completed, we saw that there was a primal Megapithecus on the map, so I went to go hunt that down. Maybe it's a bit easier than the primal Dodo Rex. I lit it up with my fire breath attack and it made it rather angry. I flew away to get myself a bit of distance and then it did this. Oh my god! Oh my god! It just threw a spear in my face. Oh my god! Yeah, it threw a second one at my badass fire drake and it died. Luckily, I was able to get the saddle off of the back of this drake. Day 55, I returned back to my death location with an Alpha Rex. I don't know if I'm going to be able to kill this thing, especially doing the kind of damage numbers we're doing against this Prime Alpha Mammoth, but I guess it's kind of worth a try. Whilst I was attacking this Prime Alpha Mammoth, the monkey came in to fight and it wasn't here to play. Bro, how am I? It's doing 47 to me. Yeah, okay. I'm dying. I'm dead. To say I was frustrated was an understatement. I couldn't figure out how to progress in this mod. I had some of the strongest tames that you could possibly tame in this mod. They were imprinted, had pretty decent stat, and a pretty decent saddle. So why were these primal level creatures so damn hard? Since I'm playing on a server with a few other people, I invited them along to come and help me try and fight this guy. We got out all of our most powerful creatures. I had a bunch of spare Alpha Rexes and spare Fire Drakes as well. Atlas had a crazy amount of Alpha Dodos. I don't even think they're going to survive, but this will be funny at least. Will our armies combine to be able to defeat this big purple monkey? I don't know, but the Dodos went flying in first. The monkey was enraged. The Dodos didn't seem to want to fight initially. The monkey threw his spear right at one of these Dodos. Somehow it survived until he done his spinny breakdance move. I then whistled in all of my creatures. They did not last at all. Oh my gosh. Soon we started raining Dodos on its head.
Damage helping.
Oh, they didn't even last to the ground, bro.
Didn't even get to the ground.
Oh, this is bad.
How many did you throw down there?
They're not even getting to the ground.
Like 94 of them?
He can, like, use his spear. Oh, that's not...
Oh, this is ridiculous. What are we supposed to do?
Oh.
No, they're all dead.
None of them had a chance. It's not that Dodos are typically strong. These are alpha variants. We just couldn't figure out how to progress in this mod. It doesn't make any sense. These big monkeys and big primal creatures are just too damn strong. Day 56 and we're testing out another theory to be able to defeat these primal creatures. I supplied a couple of my extra Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rexes to Atlas and Mr. Pineapples. Atlas said that we had to name all of our creatures. I named this one Slay Daddy. Whiskey Warlock ended up joining us as well. I had a couple spare Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex follow me into this fight and we made sure to all have enough health potions on us to hopefully help us survive. Then we went into this fight. I whistled my Alpha Rexes into the fight and then we charged in as well. My Rexes that went in earlier didn't survive very long and then we started biting. Whiskey Warlock went down, Atlas went down, and then I soon followed. Ah, man, what the hell? We had 4 mounted Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rexes fighting a primal and couldn't even make a dent in its health. This was beginning to not be any fun anymore. I couldn't figure out how I was supposed to progress. I was thinking to myself that maybe I'm just gonna have to change some of the server settings just to be able to progress and finish this video. But then Atlas gave me a really good idea. In a previous video that Atlas was in, we would kite boss level creatures to the water because certain creatures can't use their abilities while they're fully submerged underwater. We just have to survive long enough to be able to make it to the water. Oh crap, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. Heal, 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 please heal. Oh my god. As soon as that died though, I made sure to yoink the saddle off of it. I returned the following day on the back of another fire drake that we had. I made sure this one was kind of leveled and then got the attention of this primal Dodo Rex. Once it got deep enough in the water, I went swimming in the water as well. Yes, because drakes can actually swim underwater without dismounting you. Then I went to go tack this thing underneath it, and this strategy seemed to be working. Oh, this is working. I'm under the water, under its ass, just hitting it. We're not doing a whole lot of damage, but we're also not really receiving any damage either. Primal creatures do like an AoE passive attack, so your health does drop by just being in its presence. This took a really long time, but we managed to finally defeat our first primal creature. I was overexcited and wasn't paying any attention and didn't realize that my badass fire drake was still losing its health. I found the dead bag of the primal Dodo Rexy, and inside it had a bunch of goodies. Back at base, I looked to see what I needed to do to progress even further. Killing your first primal unlocks these engrams. These allow us to tame celestial creatures. But before that, we probably need to tame an uber creature for ourselves as well. When you kill a primal creature, you get its insignia, which allows us to tame its uber version. We killed a primal Dodo Rex, so we can go tame ourselves our own Dodo Rex. I'm glad we tamed this poison drake because it made taming this Dodo Rexy significantly easier. We knocked it out, I fed it a sedative, then the insignia, and we had tamed our very own Dodo Rexy. Back in base, we got our Dodo Rexy out to have a good look at him. I don't want to use it just yet because I'd like to go and get another one so I can start breeding them together. Since we're at a level of the game now that things die really easy, I don't want to risk them dying now. The next day, I went to go visit Raphis the Celestial. I wanted to see if this underwater technique still worked on celestial creatures as well. And the answer is yes. Yes, it works quite well actually. And since celestials do not have a passive AoE attack, we don't have to worry so much about our own health. The reason this takes so long though is because it has 10 million freaking health points. An eternity later, we finally defeated Raphis. I tried to harvest its body, but we couldn't. The only thing that we got from it was this Raphis essence. I think you use this later to be able to craft something. Killing Raphis was technically a waste of time, so I went to go hunt down another primal Dodo Rex. Since its flame attack has aimbot, I made sure to hide behind these big redwoods trees while it was chasing us down. We were pretty far away from the water, so getting this thing down there was kind of sketchy. Things got really sketchy when it was in between a warden and Raphis. I just went into attack and then quickly ran. I had no idea if I was getting chased by all of them or just one. Thankfully, only the primal Dodo Rexy chased me, and we were able to lead it to the water. I began hitting it right in the bum once again, but it wasn't deep enough to not use its abilities, and we died. I returned once again, led it out to the ocean, and you guys pretty much know how this goes. Ah, finally, this just takes so damn long. Yeah, so we managed to defeat this primal Dodo Rexy. We couldn't find the bag with all the loot in it. It could have been anywhere, and because it died over this deep part of the ocean, it could have even been on the ocean floor. I tried scanning the whole area on the back of my Drake using the awesome spyglass. I really needed what was inside that bag. I was so desperate that some of the other people on the server came to help me find it. In the end, I kind of got over it and left. And I was starting to get a little bit curious. I wanted to know how good this Dodo Rex really was. I had made a basic saddle for it, and then went out to go murder all these helpless creatures. 4,000 damage with no levels is pretty decent. Its fire breath attack isn't too bad either. A few levels underneath its belt and we're doing 13k damage per hit. It was really nice to finally have a creature that can kind of stand up against some of these higher tier creatures. Well, so I think at least. Day 60, we went out to go and find another primal Dodo Rex. Since we didn't find the loot bag of the last Dodo Rexy that we killed, once we got it into the ocean, I got my fire drake out and then got to work taking out this big Dodo Rexy. Again, this took us basically half the day, but we finally took this beast out. This time we got all of the loot straight in our inventory. I obviously didn't waste any time. I needed to go tame a breeding partner for my current Dodo Rex. This isn't the highest level, but it's a female, and we can just breed the desired stats into what we need anyway. As I was attempting to take out this Dodo Rexy, this happened. Wait, what the f***? What just happened? Dude, our health wasn't even that low. Give me the saddle. I just need the saddle. I just need... Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Fuck. Ever since we hit this level of the game, everything seems to be going wrong. But we still need to be working on progressing. We were getting attacked by this Dodo Rexy, but thankfully our armor was keeping us alive long enough to get a few shots in. We still died though. We returned once again. I shot it in the butt with a bow, and then I saw a fireball come straight for my face. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Day 62, and it's been many failed attempts to knock out this Dodo Rexy, but somehow I seem to duck behind this rock just in time. Oh my god, that was close. Holy crap. I shot the Dodo Rexy again, and then it started running straight into a wall, so knocking out this big grotesque monster chicken only took me seconds. I raced back home, got these two Dodo Rexys out, and began the process of breeding them up. From here on out, our game has definitely changed. A little bit later, the first egg was ready to hatch, and we got twins. Turns out these guys instantly grow up as well. With that, we now have our very own imprinted Dodo Rexy, with the desired stats that we want too. And it does a fair bit of damage. But can this Uber Dodo Rexy stand up against a primal Dodo Rex? Surely it can. We went in to fight this Dodo Rexy, saw that we started doing quite a bit of damage. I was dropping health potions to keep this guy alive as much as possible, but when the health potion ran out, so did our lives. How the hell can a Dodo Rexy not beat a primal? That doesn't make any sense. I really thought that the fact that we had a Dodo Rex, we should be able to stand up against these primal Dodo Rexys. The fact that we can't baffles me. The next day I went out to go kill a bunch of Dodo Rexys. I need to collect a bunch of Uber hide, and Dodo Rexys are the only thing that are kind of spawning on the map currently. Usually there'll be tameable Megapithecus, broodmothers, and dragons. But for a short while the mod was kind of messed up and yeah, nothing spawned in. It'll be fixed now though. I needed to collect a bunch of Uber hide so I could upgrade my saddle. Looking back on this moment, I don't know why I went to do this. I went to go attack this Dodo Rexy once again and immediately died, which also means I lost my Fire Drake's saddle, which I couldn't really afford to lose. I wanted to go and get it again. I found a nice safe spot to land, put Toxic Waffles away to keep him safe, and then swam out to the dead body of this Fire Drake. I managed to make it back and retrieve the saddle, but then the Dodo Rexy got us. I don't really care though because we got our saddle back. The primal Dodo Rexy was in the ocean, so I thought maybe I could take over one of my Dodo Rexys and fight this guy a bit quicker and easier than before, but of course only in the depths of this ocean. Also got to test out this Dodo Rexy's other abilities, like its fireball attacks. Again, the strategy was quite effective. This still takes an unusual amount of time, but it is still a little bit quicker, and we do manage to defeat this primal Dodo Rexy. Day 63, we realized if we're going to fight some of these really tough bosses, we're going to need a lot of health elixirs. So we're going to have to return back to the Silica Pearl cave and collect a whole bunch of rare flowers. This time round, we delved deeper into this cave than we ever have before. I really wanted to stock up on so many rare flowers that we kind of don't need to come back here ever again. And this cave was a lot larger than we expected, with a whole bunch of these flowers that have rare flowers in them. We even managed to find this artifact in here as well. Oh, artifact. Yes, I'll take that. Oh, silica pearls just below it all. Yeah, sweet. I'll take that as well. Thank you. Not that I need it, but I'll take it. Back at base, we went to go craft a bunch of these health elixirs, but then I remembered we need to draw a ton of blood from ourselves to be able to do it. So between drawing our own blood and gathering a bunch of rare flowers, that pretty much took up our entire day. At the end of this day, I wanted to see if my Dodo Rexy could hold up against this warden. I went in to attack it, started doing a little bit of damage, but ultimately that wasn't enough. Day 64 and we're on the back of a Dodo Rex. What mischief do we have planned today? I'm gonna go fight Raphis the Celestial. We were really close to the ocean, so once again I let it out to the ocean. I struggled to keep myself alive, but we ended up leading him out here successfully. From deep under the ocean, I could just shoot it with my fireballs. Sometimes controlling the Dodo Rexy underwater is kind of difficult, so I had to come back up on land to get it deeper into the ocean. This almost cost me my life. We did manage to position Raphis in a place that we could start attacking successfully and not die. But then somehow Raphis got out of the water and up high enough that it could start using its attacks again. Come here, you stupid bin chicken wannabe. I got it to a place where I was just attacking it, but this was just taking so damn long. It had so much health and it felt like it really wasn't doing much damage to it. And since it wasn't really important for me to kill Raphis right now, I just started swimming away. I got bored. I checked the creature finder and saw that there was a level 145 Dodo Rexy on the map. I figured if we tame this, it might get better stats than the current dinos that we have. Well, that is if we can survive the taming process. I returned and found this vantage point upon this rock here. Managed to get a few shots in and not get killed immediately, that is. Oh, you can't get me, you stupid chicken. Oh, we found a spot. We found a perfect spot. Yeah, that didn't touch me. Didn't touch me. We got its torpor low enough that it began running away from us. But did I mention I made myself a glider suit? Yeah, can't get away from me, suckers. Yep. Yoink. Yeah, run, sucker, run. Have I ever mentioned how annoying the redwoods can be at times? The hell am I on fire? Oh, you stupid terror bird. Bro, I don't want you. Go away. Yeah, take that. Alright, mate. You can go to sleep now, mate. Either one of you punks. We managed to get swarmed by a bunch of these terror birds, so I had to put these guys to sleep real quick. Then I managed to find the Dodo Rexy in the place that we originally had it. Hey, look at that. Yeah, buddy. Wow. Wow, the size difference is a lot bigger than I thought it was. Its health stat was mid, but its melee stat was really damn good. I was happy about this tame. Day 65, I got a whole army of these Dodo Rexys together. None of them have like good stats or anything, but there's a whole army at least. We gather here today so you can kill this Dodo Rexy. Now go. They all went in to attack and then he lasted about 3.7 seconds. How the hell am I supposed to be able to defeat a primal Dodo Rexy without cheesing it in the water? Again, I have a good saddle. These Dodo Rexys have decent stats and they're imprinted, so I couldn't figure it out. This particular Dodo Rexy that I'm planning on riding for a while, I named Finn 2. We named our earlier one Finn, but we're not really going to ride it that much because it's a breeder, but this one we'll probably ride. And Finn was named after one of my awesome Patreons. We lost the previous Dodo Rexy saddle, so I had to upgrade a whole nother one. This is as much as we could upgrade it. Day 66, we went out to go hunt down some Dodo Rexies. Again, so we could hunt down a bunch of hide so we could upgrade our saddle. We managed to get our hands on quite a bit and upgrade this saddle to a legendary status. Also, if you haven't noticed, we actually switched out the mods and now we're using the upgrade station instead of the imbue bench. The upgrade station is just a little bit easier to navigate. Day 67, and the only solution that I could come up with to be able to defeat some of these higher tier creatures is to just adjust some of the server settings. Yes, that's why we just did 51k damage to a warden, and the reason why we didn't die immediately. I'm testing this out to see if this is a balanced method to move forward. I hate the fact that we had to do this, but I think because this mod is quite new and it's just not really balanced too well. But even with the server settings being the way they are, I knew we were about to die. So I quickly yoinked this saddle off of the back of this Dodo Rexy and accepted our fate. I had also added another mod that will help us with the grind. I need to get myself a bunch of alpha blood, so I'm going to have to sacrifice a bunch of these alpha Rexes. I forgot the exact name of the mod that I'm using, but this mod gives me this gun that allows us to kill off these Rexes quickly. And then we just run around with our hatchet collecting all of its blood and hide. This works so well, I got out all of our Dodo Rexies as well. Thank you, Dodo Rexies. Your sacrifice will be well worth it. This way we can seriously upgrade our Dodo Rexy saddle without having to wait for wild Dodo Rexies to spawn in the map. And just like that, we were able to successfully upgrade this Dodo Rexy saddle. Only one time though, we ran out of black pearls to keep going. Day 68, and I found a Raffus just chilling on the beach in the redwoods. We're doing a lot more damage and we have a little bit more health than we had earlier. So I wanted to try and fight this guy on land and see if we could survive and actually put up a good fight. Me and my admins were experimenting on the map to try and get the balance just right so we could fight these guys but not make it super easy. And I think we found a good balance. It still takes us quite a while to fight these guys and put them down, but we also don't get absolutely obliterated within seconds. So I just killed Raffus. Indeed, I just killed Raffus. Still can't harvest the body though. A little bit further down the beach, we found a primal Dodo Rex, and we could finally stand toe to toe against one of these big purple wannabe chicken stupid monsters. I was biting away, absolutely murking this guy, and then this happened. No! So the dino wipe got rid of this guy before I could kill it. I waited about 10 minutes and came back and found another primal Dodo Rex and managed to kill this guy without dying myself. It's now day sus number, and to make sure this day stays sus, I went to go fight an overgrown orange sperm. This would be our first attempt at trying to fight and kill a warden. I intentionally tried to fight it against the water. I wanted to try fighting it out of the water, but if we needed to, I was going to duck into the ocean just in case. Our health got really low, so I tried to make an escape. Please heal, please heal, please heal. Hurry up. Oh, yes. Are we healing? We're healing. Ah, just in time. That was so close. Now we're in my playground. Down here, I obviously had the advantage, but it still wasn't an easy fight. I tried to just keep my distance swimming away and then just shooting my fireballs at it. But when you're in close vicinity of this warden, you get some serious debuffs against you. We were chipping away at its health, and I didn't want to give up this fight at all. I made sure to remain patient and escape when I needed to so I could heal up. Every time you use a health elixir, there's a 20-second cooldown each time you use it, meaning you can't just spam health elixirs whenever you need. And this orange sperm wasn't really fast in the ocean, so we could get away, gather ourselves, and get back into the fight. This warden has 2 million health points left, and we're still chugging away at it. Coming so close to defeating this guy, I made sure to remain patient and calm. Oh my god, come on, we're so close. Oh. Well, as calm as I could possibly be. I shot this barrage of fireballs at it and finally defeated this boss. Hey, where's my loot? Where's the loot at? Oh no, we're gonna have to... Is it in my inventory? No, that's not it. I don't think. I had to look for the loot bag. It wasn't too hard to find, and I managed to get it, and we scored some warden armor, some essence, and some warden tokens. Killing this was quite worth it. I then went to go check to see exactly what I needed to craft some of these celestial matrices. Seems like we have to kill basically every warden, a bunch of apex creatures, and even the primal creatures. This is going to be such a grind, and it's so hard already. Day 70 and the biggest grind begins. We found a bunch of these primal megapithecus on the map and started taking them down one by one. They all appeared mostly in the snow area, or at least close by, and obviously because of the new server settings, taking these guys down was rather easy. It just took a lot of time, like the whole day. We managed to get a whole bunch of black pearls from this excursion as well. Day 71 consists of us killing spiders in a swamp. Not little ones, these massive big mamas. There was currently only 3 on the map, and they all seem to be pretty close to each other. But yes, this is pretty much all we did this day. Day 72, we went to go fight Nasha, the warden of the beach. He was already in the water, so we kind of just let him out there again and just sprayed him with our fireball attack until we finally defeated defeated this big-ass turtle. I managed to get some warden leggings from this turtle as well. Next, we went to go hunt down this apex Tyrannosaurus Rex. Even though it only has 1 million health, it packs a punch against us. I managed to kill it and then gain the item that we were after. I also took down a couple other apex creatures as well, and we got to secure the items that we were after, these red skulls. Day 73, we went to go store some of the resources that we had gathered into this bench and check to see what else we needed to make these celestial matrices. We still have quite the ways to go before we can craft this, so we head on back out to go hunt down some of these primal creatures. I haven't fought myself a primal dragon yet, so this will be my first time. The fact that it's a flyer and we're stuck here on the ground makes this a little bit more difficult, but as long as we kept it aggroed on us and we just shot it with our fireball attack, we could get the job done. I of course have to repeat this process a few more times. I'm glad we changed the server settings, because if we did this prior to changing the settings, I don't think we would have ever won this fight. Next, Atlas had told me that he had tamed a dragon for himself, so I had to go and see it. Oh, okay. A weird size.
Yeah, they're much bigger than ours. I'd say Quetzal size.
Yeah, I was curious to see what size they were to see what kind of trap I was going to need to be able to knock it out. I found one on the map and then started heading on over to it. Also, the spawns weren't fixed at this time. I just had an admin fly around and drop different dinos into the map that wouldn't spawn currently. We approached this dragon. I was going to trap it, but I realized I couldn't because I couldn't think of a trap and I couldn't be bothered trying to invent one. Instead, I'm just attempting to use my PT to knock it out, hoping that my fast movement speed will keep us out of any dangers. Obviously, it didn't. One hit and we lost half of our health. All right, for your safety and protection, Mr. Toxic Waffles, you're going away. I cannot afford you to die right now. Yes, in order to protect all of our creatures, and since our poison drake is dead, we're just gonna have to do this the good old-fashioned way, picking our moments and shooting it in the head with some tranq darts. Also, the reason why I'm surviving a lot of this fire is because I'm wearing some really good armor currently, but this is definitely a whole damn process in trying to knock this out. I managed to get a couple hits in, but the dragon flew away once again, so I had to get Toxic Waffles out and chase it down, trying my best to avoid getting hit and trying to hit it at the same time. I had a few health elixirs on me, so we could afford to get hit a couple times, but I'd rather not waste them on something like this. I was doing what I'm supposed to do, keeping my distance and not getting hit, until this happened. Oh no! No! Toxic Waffles was killed. I couldn't leave Toxic Waffles' death in vain. I also couldn't leave that useful saddle on him. Now I had to make this dragon ours. I'm doing my best to time my shots so I can make sure to hit this guy, but he's damn fast. After a hot minute and a whole bunch of missed shots, we managed to get that final shot and put this baby to sleep. Take that, bitch. Yeah. The disrespectful teabag. Yes, I had to disrespectfully teabag this guy. Once I tamed this dragon, I went ahead and named it Atlas. Obviously, after the gentleman that I've been playing with in the game that you've seen, as he is one of my Patreon members. Atlas also allowed me to breed my dragon with his dragon as well. But also, the fact that we lost Toxic Waffles and we've had such a great journey with him so far, I had to honor him with a gravestone. Let us take this moment to reflect on all the good times we had with Toxic Waffles. Anyway, he's dead and life goes on. We have our first fertilized dragon egg ready to hatch. And it just so happens to be a male dragon with the stats that we wanted, which means I can head back on over to Atlas's base and I can return his dragon back to him. We begin day 75 of building a little addition to our base, adding quite a few of these chibi stands. This will be the entrance to our base, so I wanted to make sure that the entrance looked kind of really cool. Yeah, these are the chibis and the chibi mods that belong to myself and all of my friends. Comment below if you recognize any of the chibis here, and then go ahead and let me know which chibi is your favorite. Anyways, moving on, I got a saddle for my dragon, placed it on its back, and then went to go test out its power. Yes, also these dragons can swim underwater as well. The fun part about them as well is you can just jump straight out of the water and begin flying. The dragon is decently strong. It's probably about the same level as the Dodo Rexy, which makes sense because it is an Uber variant as well. The true test of its strength would be against this Raphis. Can we hold up against it? I have no idea. The biggest advantage that we have is the ability to fly, and the fact that we can fly in all directions. When using certain attacks, our stamina drops quite rapidly. Thankfully, I managed to make these stamina elixirs that solve that problem. But as long as we took moments to fly away and heal up and remain patient and calm during this fight, fighting and killing Raphis the Celestial, we didn't win. We died. Yeah, it was close, but no, we got absolutely murdered. I think a solution to our problem right now is to be able to make a better saddle for our dragon, that is. Which, yes, of course means we have to get rid of some of these Dodo Rexes in the most humanely way possible. murder. And after quite a few of them, we managed to get a whole lot of uber hide, make another dragon saddle, and upgrade it a little bit. Well, as far as we possibly could currently. Day 76, and to make sure that we could continue upgrading this armor and all of our saddles and everything that we need, we went out to go gather a whole bunch of metal. Thanks to the current armor set that we're wearing, it also gives us a massive weight bonus, meaning we can hold a lot more things in our inventory. I managed to hatch a baby dragon with 38 points into its health, and I knew Atlas and Milkshake were in need of a dragon like that. And of course, because Atlas has helped me out so much through this entire playthrough, I had to hook him up. At the end of this day, we had to say goodbye to a bunch of our Dodo Rexes. Also, using the chainsaw against these guys gets us a lot more hide than we had been getting with our hatchet. And after spending basically the entire day gathering resources, we then went ahead and spent all of those resources in upgrading this dragon saddle. Day 77, and we have a dragon with desired stats. So I placed this legendary saddle on the back of it, named it Atlas 2, then went on out to go get some levels into it by murdering the whole population of this island. Even with very little levels, we were doing a pretty decent amount of damage. I realized we were really close to this cave once again, so I came over here to collect a whole bunch of rare flowers. The health elixirs are really expensive to make, so I feel like we're always over here collecting a bunch more. It would have been nice if we could have stocked up on heaps earlier, but it's inevitable that we're just gonna have to keep coming back here. Later that day, we discovered that there's a warden in the ocean. I believe Fin 3 here, our Dodo Rexy, was our best chance in defeating this guy, since it has a pretty decent saddle on the back of it. And I believe that the Dodo Rexes have more damage output than the dragons do. This fight I knew was going to be quite scary, since I couldn't use the underwater technique against this one, since it is an underwater dino. Instead, I tried the reverse and taking it up to land. Little did I know this motherfucker can fly, because it's a water dino, and I didn't know it could freaking stay out of the water. That's bullshit. Oh, Fin 3's easily about to come Fin 4. Holy crap. It can survive out of the water. This is bullshit. My knees are weak and my palms are sweaty. We were about to die and shit is getting heavy. I managed to pull off some well-timed heals and remain consistent, just biting away, doing as much damage I could possibly do. Then, all of a sudden, we got our final bite in and defeated this beast. We also unlocked a bunch of tech engrams. I didn't even realize that was a thing. We scored another piece of warden armor as well. A chest piece. A piece that we don't have. Day 78, we upgrade the armor level of this warden chest piece. Then we're back on the hunt, killing a bunch of these Dodo Rexes so we can continue gathering all the necessary resources to be able to make one of these celestial matrices. Since we're upgrading our armor and saddles and all that kind of stuff, we keep running out of cementing paste quite quickly. And the solution is we need to tame some more snails. I was also reminded that these guys can breed together. Not only do they identify as non-binary, or they thems, or he hims, or she she's, or freaking whatever it is, they can still make babies. Speaking of snails, Milkshake had to come and show me his one. Yeah, so apparently the snails can wear hats. Are they hats, are they? That's funny. Day 79, I forgot I was recording for like the longest time possible. So yeah, we were just basically AFK this entire time. And when I came back, I realized all of our snails had fully grown up. And we have a whole bunch of them now. Now we just place them in the inside SCS terminal to let them start doing their thing. Day 80, we're back in the wilds hunting down creatures so we can get the Celestial Matrix. This part of the video is quite grindy, so I'm gonna kind of skip over a lot of it as we're just fighting the same creatures over and over again. Day 81, we go to take on another warden. These fights can be kind of interesting because we're always at the risk of dying, like always. This particular warden is Karkanos, the Warden of the River. Basically just a big green crocodile. Now don't tell Uncle Steve Owen, but we need to kill this crocodile, and I'm attempting this battle on the back of my dragon. This fight turns out to be quite difficult. I try and maintain myself in the skies, but this warden has an ability that grounds me, which basically means I'm left with no choice than to just fight it head on. This fight takes us a very long time to complete. We did have some close moments, especially because there's times we can't heal up because there's a cooldown timer on the health elixirs, but then we fly back in and go and absolutely destroy this Gucci handbag. Oh my god, it's a relief. My finger hurts from freaking clicking so much. We're inching our way closer and closer to be able to tame one of these celestial creatures. And to celebrate defeating another warden, I killed off a whole bunch of other creatures. Then I had to go back out to killing off some of these primal creatures, specifically these broodmothers, since there were a few on the map currently. Day 82, things are moving in the right direction, so I feel like it's time we take on another warden. This particular warden is a big purple giga. Oh my gosh, this dude's fast. Yeah, take that, sucker. Oh, he's grounded us. He's grounded us. We're going down. No. We're biting away, handling this warden just like any other warden. I was healing up, but then this happened. Crap, what happened? We died, but our dragon didn't. So I had to race back and try and keep it alive. When I arrived back, I saw the Giga fighting it fiercely. Tried spraying it with my fireball attacks, and my dragon was still passed out, so it was just getting absolutely munched on. And then he died. Make things worse, I just realized that the Giga had healed up a little bit. So we just got to take over from here and try and kill this big purple Giga. I had a couple of these elixirs to try and keep us awake and not getting knocked out. since this purple Giga gives us torpor damage over time. Everything was going fine. We started doing a bunch of damage. Then we were left with only one of these elixirs, and the Giga still had half health remaining. It was unlikely we were going to survive this, and we didn't. Man. Can't catch a break. Not defeating this warden kind of sucks, but most of all, losing the saddle that we had for the dragon and the Dodo Rexy, that sucks even more. I tried my best running around to find my loot bag. We managed to find the loot bag for the Dodo Rex saddle. We just need to find the loot bag for the dragon saddle. Unfortunately, the Giga wouldn't allow us to do this. I desperately didn't want to lose that dragon saddle. It required a whole bunch of resources that we spent a lot of time farming to be able to make, so we risked coming back here once again. It's just so hard to see loot bags in this game. Oh, and it's also hard to survive. Day 83, we went to go fight a different type of warden. Maybe we would have better luck fighting something else. We came to come fight the big Harambe wearing a top hat, Bolquito, the warden of the snow. I thought that maybe because we're in the water, he might not be able to do as much damage, but I couldn't find a deep enough place to get him. Bolquito doesn't deal any torpor damage to us, so at least that's one stat we don't have to worry about. We're slowly doing a bit of damage to him, and it looks like we're going to defeat this big gorilla. Psych, we died. Yeah, I accidentally pressed E when I was on the back of the monkey. That was a skill issue, not the actual game. We flew back to our death marker, and it seemed like the monkey wasn't fighting our Finn. So I whistled Finn to follow me and managed to get him back safely. With Finn back and safe, we healed him up and then started fighting this big monkey again. This time I wanted to try and get him into the deep part of this little iceberg area. Maybe being in the water might give us another advantage. I am somewhat abusing this little strategy here, but don't sit there and say you wouldn't do the same. Doesn't really matter anyway. He wouldn't really follow us into the deep parts of the ocean, so we had to go fight him on the land. Because he was so fast, he would run away and heal up, and then he'd have to come back, and then, you know, it's just a shitty repeat over and over. With this strategy, at least we could just stand here. As long as we just timed our healing correctly, we were able to melt the health down of Bolquito, Warden of the Snow. After a long slog, we were able to defeat this big monkey. We also got the headpiece for the warden armor. Hey, the helmet's like a Dodo Rexy helmet. Now we're a Dodo Rexy riding a Dodo Rexy. I've stocked up a lot more on these wake up elixirs, so now it's time for us to fight and finally defeat this big purple Giga. I hope. We chomp away at this big guy, and you kind of know how this goes. I understand why our Dodo Rexy fell asleep earlier. He was probably bored from just standing here biting the entire time. And just as we were about to defeat this guy, this happened. No! Oh, you only had freaking a little bit of health left. We were just about to defeat the big purple Giga, and somehow we just didn't heal in time. Day 85, we took a break from fighting wardens. Instead, we went to go fight some creatures we were pretty confident we could defeat. After all, we do need to harvest some resources from these guys. One of the biggest things that deter me from this game is the fact that the freaking loot bags can be hard to find. It'd be nice if there was an easier way to be able to spot them. I did find a nice strategy to be able to fight some of these dragons as well. If I used my dragon and led this dragon to the roof world border, it'd just get stuck, and then I could just repetitively bite it until it dies. Day 86, and I swear today is going to be the day that we defeat this purple Giga. Now, I don't say his name because that name is really hard to pronounce. Raiwayan or something. Anyway, Purple Giga is going to be his name. Anyways, we got his health down to halfway. Then my game started lagging out a little bit, and for some reason the health elixir button wasn't working. No, heal. What the fuck's up with this lag? You fuck. Yeah, I was killed by lag. This purple Giga is going to be the death of me. And once again, we had to return to try and get this freaking saddle back. We managed to scan it with our spyglass, so we knew it was around here somewhere. Dude, I swear we just saw it. Where is it? Hello? Loot bag. Can we see anything? No. Why? Because the loot bag's brown, and so is the freaking dirt. Once again, this big purple Giga wouldn't allow us to get our stuff back. We came back and got our stuff from the personal grave, and then when I looked inside my inventory, I saw that our Dodo Rexy saddle was there. We must have picked it up earlier. I just didn't realize. Day 87, and once again, we're out here killing primal creatures. From brood mothers to dragons in the skies. Then there was Primordius the Celestial. I wanted to try and fight him. Thought it might be fun. I used the same strategy against this than I do against the primal dragons. It has a rather interesting skill that ends up draining all of your stamina. Kind of like an electric shock kind of thing. Fortunately, I had a bunch of the stamina potions on me, which kept me in the skies. And I managed to defeat Primordius kind of easily as well. Next, I went to go hunt down an Elegon the Celestial. This is a slightly smaller green dragon variant. It has a lot of similarities to Primordius. It's just green and smaller. Obviously, I managed to kill this thing quite easily as well. You see, when you kill him, you get this orb thing that you can use to be able to craft a certain matrix. Okay, after killing a whole bunch of primals and celestials, I was starting to feel quite confident. Well, kind kind of. I went to go fight this big purple Giga once again, but this time I did bring along a couple friends. Atlas and Milkshake once again came to help out. I charged in to tank all of the damage since I had the best saddle and the most health pool. Milkshake stayed back and shot with the big fireball attack, and Atlas was flying around on his dragon, except he kind of died early on. Then, just like that, we got to defeat this big purple Giga, and then got all the loot that we required to be able to progress on further. Well, some of it at least. Over the next few days, we went to go fight the remaining wardens that we need to kill so we can craft ourselves a celestial matrix. I had the help of Atlas and Milkshake for some of them, and we started taking them down one by one, starting with Nylok, Warden of the Sky, the greenish yellow Rhino, Perdition, the Warden of the Plains, the overgrown frog, Eureka, the Warden of the Swamps, and then I fought Smog, the Warden of the Grasslands solo. Day 90 and there's 10 days left in this adventure, but there's still so much content that we need to complete. I need to kill a couple more Megapithecus so I can tame myself a Raphis. There weren't any on the map, so I had to summon one in. It was kind of expensive to make this, so I'm kind of hoping this is worth it. Then I just had a few more other primals that I needed to defeat. There's so much grind in the end game of this game that it kind of got repetitive and boring. But thankfully for you guys, I can just edit all of that stuff out. And now we finally have all the required resources to be able to make one of these celestial matrices. The question is, which one are we gonna make? We have Primordius, Elegon, or Raphis. In the end, I decided on Raphis. I noticed that the Dodo Rexes in this mod were quite strong, so my theory was that Raphis would be probably the strongest celestial. I located a few of them on the map, and they all spawn in at level 150, so you don't have to worry about that. But they do spawn in with different stats. This particular one had 32 points into melee, so this Raphis was going to be my first celestial tame. You don't need a saddle for these guys, and you can ride them straight away, which we did. And as we started biting, we noticed that we were doing over 100,000 damage per hit, and that's without any levels in it. We have now entered a new era of progress. Day 91, we jump on the back of Fin 6 and head on over to the Redwoods so we could fight another Warden. Now, I'm not fighting this Warden with my new celestial Raphis because I was kind of worried that it might die. It's such a grind just to be able to get all the things together just to be able to tame one of these celestials that I didn't really want to risk it. There was also another one of these orange sperm wardens nearby, so of course I had to fight and destroy this one as well. I don't really need to kill Smog at the moment, but it doesn't hurt to be able to get some more of these warden tokens from it. We did get a certain item from killing those wardens that we really needed. The final piece of this warden set, the Warden gloves. I just need to upgrade them now, and it's kind of cheap to upgrade them because they're still considered fur gauntlets, and it's kind of cheap to upgrade them since they're still considered just normal fur items. Next, I made an armor piece for Raphis to try and keep him safe, obviously, and then I wanted to upgrade it. I just needed a little bit more uber hide, so I had to say goodbye to a couple more of these Dodo Rexes. A little bit risky doing it this way. What if I had accidentally killed Raphis? We only managed to upgrade this armor only a little bit. We're gonna have to keep grinding if we want to upgrade it some more. And now we have a full complete set of Warden armor. That coupled with Raphis, we are a pretty unstoppable force right now. I hope. I don't know. This mod is really difficult. I put a few levels into Raphis and started swimming over to the Redwood so we could test out his real power. First, I figured we'll try against a primal Dodo Rexy, and man, dude packs a punch. Another Raphis came over to join into the party, so we had to keep fighting that. Our Raphis's biting power is really quick, so taking out this other flaming Dodo Rex was quite easy. But then Smog came in to fight. He was really close, and yeah, of course he was going to come into fight and if he got caught in the crossfire. I tried to move away to reposition myself, but then Raphis went down, and because its body doesn't decompose, we kind of got stuck here, leaving us no choice but to fight Smog. Smog having a 40 million health pool makes this quite a long fight. I was worried that we might lose Raphis. Fortunately, we were able to seal the deal and defeat this Smog. Unfortunately though, we were still stuck inside this dead Raphis body. I just had to put our Raphis in a soul ball so he could escape. Day 92, I was back live streaming on Twitch, celebrating my 100,000 subscribers. And whilst I was live on Twitch, a few people redeemed their channel points so that they could name certain dinos in our game. This Blue Rex we named Fang. He's also one of my editors and helps me out with thumbnails. This Trike we named Dinglebottom. No idea where that came from, but hey, people get to name their dinos. And this Fire Drake we named Flaming Pineapples. Yes, after Mr. Pineapples, the person you've seen previously in this video, another one of my awesome Patreons. Next, we jumped on the back of Raphis and went out to go murder a bunch of creatures, specifically some of these primals like this Broodmother and this primal purple big gorilla. Megapithecus have a weakness to fire, that's why we're doing so much more damage towards them, and farming them became super easy all of a sudden. And because of that, we saw Paquito the Snow Warden and went to go fight that. I was still concerned that we might die as he was draining draining my health rather quickly. But we got to assert our dominance, and like the zookeepers at that zoo, we absolutely murdered Harambe. Day 93, we once again had to return back to this cave. We've once again run out of rare flowers, so we need to go and collect a whole bunch more. Hopefully this is the last time, as coming here is such a grind. Not only do we have to grind to get rare flowers, but we also need to stand here for a long time, just drawing my blood for these blood packs. This seriously took us the longest time. It pretty much took the entire day. The only thing that we had left to do in this day was to go and kill one primal Megapithecus. Yes, that was basically completely day 93 wiped out just from some rare flowers, some blood packs, and you know, we got to kill one Megapithecus. Day 94, and basically one of our goals right now is that we could tame another one of these celestial creatures. Then we will go and try and fight the war chief before day 100. But to successfully do so, we need to go and grind up a whole bunch of resources, specifically killing a bunch of these primal creatures. This whole day basically just consists of us killing primal dragons, as we're running kind of low on primal dragon heads. It's now day 95, and a couple things have changed in the mod currently. There was a massive update, and a few things are different. There's a whole bunch of different dinos in this mod now, including alpha trikes, and since trikes are some of my favorite creatures, I had to tame this. I didn't need it or anything, I just wanted it. Also, you might notice something a little bit different with Raphis. Give me 2 seconds. There he is. Holy crap. Dude looks completely different. Yep. Okay. That is a definitely different Raphis. His damage output changed a lot, but also so did his health pool. A lot of balancing had changed with this new update in this mod, so I went to go fight this Nasher to go and see exactly how things are going to work. Oh my god, look at all those freaking damage numbers. Man's getting destroyed. Oh. Oh, whoa. Whoa, we are getting absolutely destroyed too. Okay, we won. Phew. Look at that health pool. Look at that gosh damn health pool. Anyways, we took advantage of the fact that we're extremely powerful and then went out to go hunt down all the remaining creatures that we need to go and kill, so we can hopefully tame another one of these cool ass Celestials. Day 96, and we had to say goodbye to a bunch of Dodo Rexes once again. I had to upgrade the armor of our Raphis. I can't have him dying too easily. He's just too hard to get. We approached this beach of the redwoods, and there was a smog floating in the middle of the ground. I wasn't really prepared for this fight, but we fought him anyway. I went out to the water to try and heal up. Once I was ready, I went back into the fight. Things were looking good, but he was kind of hard to see, and my health was dropping rapidly. I went to escape once again to try and get a time to be able to heal up. I turned around and started using my ranged attack. I missed because I'm a terrible freaking shot. I thought I took him out, but I didn't. He had 2 million health remaining. He charged over and I couldn't heal up. I managed to kill Smog, but our Raphis died. This is not what we need right now. We are way too close to the end for this to happen. This was a massive setback. 4 days left to go in this 100 days challenge. I didn't quite know what to do. Then I checked the Annunaki lab bench and saw that we had enough materials to be able to make another Celestial Matrix. I had a look on the map to see what Celestials were available and saw that there was a Primordius on the map. So I made the Celestial Dragon Matrix for Primordius. Got out a newly bred dragon that had mutated. That's why it's green. I think this is a pretty cool looking dragon if you ask me. And we took off to go and track down this Primordius. Found this one just chilling in the middle of the center island, shoved the Matrix up its butt, and then claimed it as our own. We now have our hands on our very own Primordius, the Celestial Dragon. I immediately go to test out some of his attacks to see how different he is from Raphis. His bite attack is just a basic bite attack, and he can swim underwater just like the other dragons in this mod. He has like this electric attack, which is kind of strong, I guess, and then some explosion AoE attack that absolutely messes up everything in its vicinity. With that being said, we went to go take out this Elegon. I figured it might have been a good little test of its strength to fight another Celestial. Problem is, this is a massive flyer versus a tiny little flyer, so this fight kind of dragged out for a little while. I obviously had to take it to the world border to try and fight this guy successfully, but visually things get a little bit messy and it's hard to kind of see. And since all the health is buffed a lot, Elegon had 50 million health and it took quite a while to take it down. Right after, I saw a primal dragon stuck in the side of this island. Of course, I had to take that down so I could claim myself some rewards. I wasn't really satisfied with Primordius. I feel like Raphis is significantly stronger, especially with its ranged attacks. So I went to go and hunt down a whole bunch of these primal creatures in hopes to be able to get enough resources together to tame myself another Raphis. We had a lot of the other resources like the Warden Essences. We were missing a couple, but we can go and collect them soon. Like we do need Nylok, Warden of the Skies Essence. Since we're a flyer and Nylok's a flyer, this should be a pretty decent matchup. I went in, launched our AoE attack, got the attention of Nylok and started biting down. Began our assault, made sure to heal up when needed, and got it stuck against this mountain. Kept attempting to do my big attacks to make sure we can ensure our victory against this big black and white pigeon. I saw that our health was rapidly dropping. I dropped another health potion and tried to escape. The health potion did nothing. Dude, why are we not healing? Why are we not healing? No, are you freaking kidding me? Oh my god. Yes, so when this mod updated, the health potions kind of bugged out and they were basically useless against wardens. The wardens could drain your health faster than the health elixirs could heal you up. And I didn't quite have enough resources to be able to get my hands on another celestial. There's a whole bunch of warden essences that we do not have currently, and we need to kill a couple more primals. I went out to go fight some primal dragons since there were a couple close to my base and they're on the map. But even these fights have become much harder than they were before the mod update. I was feeling lost and confused and didn't really know how to progress forward. What are we going to do to be able to defeat the war chief on day 100? Day 98, and I need to defeat this war chief on day 100. And I had a plan. How could we possibly defeat a really hard boss if we can barely defeat wardens? Well, that's quite simple. All I need to do is just exploit my community and subscribers. Mr. Pineapples and Atlas were already on the server and they both had celestials that they can use to fight with. So between the three of us, we should be able to take wardens out quite easily and simply. I just stayed back and just did my ranged attack because I'm pretty sure at this time of the game that my Dodo Rexy wouldn't survive. Atlas stayed in with his Raphis and absolutely kept destroying him and tanking all the damage. And just like that, we were able to defeat Smog. This also allowed Atlas to level up his Raphis, except he made a dire mistake.
No! Oh, I accidentally put some in movement speed. 6 levels.
Between the three of us, we were now able to go and kill a bunch of creatures much easier so we could start working towards myself getting a Celestial and also summoning in this War Chief. It was extremely satisfying going up to Nightlock and absolutely murdering it and getting my revenge for our Primordius. We then found this purple Giga just sitting on this pillar. Couldn't really think of a way to be able to get it down so we could fight this successfully. And that's when Atlas said this.
Oh, yeah, have him aggro it down. We just go to the ground.
Oh yeah.
He can
I can aggro it, yeah.
You see, I'm glad I brought these guys along. I kept my distance once again, just shooting this purple Giga. But then something bad happened.
No, don't die, Raphis. Raphis is dead.
Fuck. It was just myself and Primordius left. We managed to kill this big purple Giga.
Oh, I popped the health pot and it just one-shot Primordius.
Yeah, my health pot didn't do anything either.
Yeah. The health potions were absolutely broken in this mod. This whole situation was a terrible setback. How the hell are we supposed to be able to defeat the War Chief without even a Celestial on our side, let alone health potions not being able to work? I ran around in circles on my island whilst we tried to think of ideas to be able to defeat the War Chief. I stood there in a pile of my Dodo Rexies while we were thinking, and that's when it hit me. First, I want to see how far away we are from being able to get myself a Celestial. I only need to kill 2 Wardens to be able to get one. And again, maybe with the help of Atlas and Mr. Pineapples, we might be able to complete this. We started attacking Karkanos, the Warden of the River, and somehow, luckily, Atlas on his dragon kept the aggro of Karkanos, so we were able to sit back with our ranged attack and take this guy out. Successfully defeating this big leatherback crocodile, now we just need to defeat Mormor, the Warden of the Ocean, which is easier said than done. This guy can fly out of the ocean, and yeah, this is a tough battle. Not only does he do a lot of damage, but he absolutely murders us when he tries to attack us. He deals torpor damage as well, so we have to maintain that. I tried spamming my health potions. I got my heals in just in time. We might have got our heals in, but it didn't really work. We couldn't heal up enough in time and died to Mormor, the Warden of the Ocean. I returned to our death spot to try and pick up our saddle. I was confident that we weren't going to defeat this big, stupid, freaking dinosaur wannabe. Unfortunately, we looked everywhere to try and get our saddle back, and Mormor came down to kill us. Oh, what the frick? It's day 100, and I basically accepted defeat. We only needed the essence of Mormor to be able to get ourselves a Celestial, but we're out of time. I only have one option left if I want to have a chance of defeating the War Chief. Between myself and Atlas, we're literally getting every dinosaur that we've bred or that we have in any of our terminals out, and we're gonna have to fight this mega boss with a massive army. If you want to know how massive, I mean, it's freaking massive. This isn't even all of it. This is just a bunch of Dodo Rexes and some Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rexes amongst that too. You know, you guys have already seen that we've had a pretty unlucky run through this entire 100 days. But to top it all off, yes, that noise there, that's Bakito, and he's coming to try and fight our army.
Uh-oh, Bakito's here. Bakito's here. Everything's getting ruined.
Oh crap. Yes, Mans has come in and absolutely destroyed a bunch of our army. This is so bad, but hilariously funny.
Bro, it's ending everything.
Just as we thought things couldn't get any worse, this big monkey absolutely ruined us and our whole army. Well, a big chunk of it, not all of it. I jumped on the back of one of the Dodo Rexies to try and get rid of this massive pest. Its health was really low, and then, yeah, we died. Once I had returned, the big monkey was dead. Our army managed to finish it off. Luckily, I still had a whole bunch of Dodo Rexies that I hadn't gotten out of their soul balls just yet. Was this going to be enough to be able to defeat the War Chief? Probably not. Most of them aren't leveled. This already feels like way less than we had before, but it's all we have to work with right now. Now, after all this build up and all this hype and this crazy adventure in this 100 days, it's time to take on the War Chief. There he is. Atlas summoned him in, and our army began its assault. I made sure to stay back, but I was just watching all of our Dodo Rexies get absolutely melted.
Oh, one thing hit. One of my Dodo Rexes hit. Oh my god, it just wiped out everything.
Oh, they're all gone. No, no. He's on me now. He's on me. Heal. Oh, I'm still doing damage.
Oh, these minions have 2 million health.
No, I'm dead. That was fun. Rip the mundo. Yeah, so after all of that, that fight was kind of underwhelming. I am sorry about that. It was fun though. This crazy 100-day adventure was absolutely amazing. I returned back to go see if anything had survived. The answer is no. We didn't even get to stand a chance here as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching this whole video all the way through to the end. This was a crazy, crazy journey. Remember, use my link below to go and check out some of the new hottest merch in the game and go cop yourself one of these cool t-shirts and hoodies. Shout out to all my Patreon members, YouTube members, and all that. Until next time, peace.